Imagine closing your eyes tonight, not to the hum of city lights or the distant roar of traffic, but to a world where the veil between myth and reality has torn wide open. A world where the creatures we've dreamed of since childhood, those vibrant, impossible beings from pocket-sized adventures, roam free, breathing, hunting, evolving right alongside us. What if Pokémon were real, not as pixels on a screen or cards in a binder, but as flesh and fury, wonder and peril, woven into the fabric of our everyday existence? Picture it. The first whispers of their existence didn't come from a lab in Japan or a Game Boy's glow. No, they slithered into our history from the shadows of ancient forests, the depths of forgotten oceans, and the peaks of unclimbed mountains. Millennia ago, before steel skyscrapers pierced the clouds, tribes gathered around flickering fires, sharing tales of beasts that commanded lightning from the sky, spewed flames hot enough to forge legends, and shifted forms like whispers in the wind. We called them gods, demons, spirits of the wild, but they were always there, hidden just beyond the tree line, waiting. Fast forward to our modern age, and the world has irrevocably changed. The Great Emergence, as historians now call it, happened just over a decade ago. Seismologists mistook the rumbles for earthquakes. Birdwatchers dismissed the shadows in the clouds as tricks of the light. But then, on live television, a news chopper captured it, a colossal shadow eclipsing the sun over the Pacific, wings spanning city blocks, roaring with a voice that shattered glass for miles. Rayquaza, the Sky Guardian, descending to clash with a serpentine horror rising from the abyss Kyogre, the sea's wrath incarnate. Satellites flickered out, tsunamis threatened coasts, and in that moment, humanity learned the truth. We were never alone. Panic swept the globe like a wildfire. Governments scrambled, militaries mobilized, but bullets bounced off hides tougher than diamond. Cities went dark under psychic storms brewed by Alakazam collectives in the Himalayas. Forests burned under Charizard swarms migrating south for winter. Yet, amid the chaos, something extraordinary emerged. Not conquest, but coexistence. Trainers, ordinary people at first, kids with dreams bigger than fear discovered the bond. A shared glance, a pulse of energy, and suddenly, a wild Rattata wasn't lunging for your throat, but nuzzling your palm, its tiny heart syncing with yours. Today, that bond defines us. Pokémon aren't pets. They're partners, predators, protectors. Society has reshaped around them. Megacities, like Saffron and Goldenrod, boast skyline-spanning gyms where elite battlers clash under holographic domes, their roars echoing like thunderclaps. Rural heartlands, from the windswept plains of Paldea to the misty isles of Alola, thrive on symbiotic farms where Miltank herds produce milk that heals wounds overnight, and go-goat caravans ferry goods across impassable terrains. But let's be clear, this world is no fairy tale. The stakes are visceral, life-altering, a single misstep in the wilds, and you're facing a pack of Primeape gone berserk, their fury amplified by a full moon. Venture too deep into the Unova Badlands, and Zoroark illusions could lead you into an inescapable mire. Governments enforce trainer licenses, now rigorous exams testing not just strategy, but empathy, survival, ethics. Because capturing a Pokémon isn't a toss of a ball anymore, it's a ritual of mutual consent, sealed by the glow of a Pokeball's ancient tech, reverse-engineered from meteorites that fell during the emergence. Economies boom and buckle under their influence. Rare candies, synthesized from evolutionary stones unearthed in Sinnoh's caves, fetch fortunes on black markets, promising overnight power-ups, but risking berserk mutations. Pokemarts dot every corner, stocking berries that cure poisonings you never knew existed, Oran for stamina, citrus for that euphoric surge mid-journey. And the league? It's the new Olympics, the Super Bowl, the World Cup rolled into one. Champions like Cynthia or Leon aren't celebrities, they're demigods. They're teams capable of leveling mountains or calming hurricanes. Yet, beneath the spectacle lies a profound mystery. Why now? Why us? Legends speak of Arceus, the creator, a being of pure origin who birthed the universe from nothingness. Dialga bends time itself, Palkia warps space, Giratina haunts the distortion world, a tear in reality, where the damned and the exiled dwell. Are these gods awakening because we've tipped some cosmic balance? Climate change stirring legendary guardians? Human hubris poking the hornet's nest of creation? In this reality, science and myth entwine. Professors like Oak and Rowan run global institutes, dissecting DNA that defies physics. How does a Magikarp leap waterfalls into dragonhood? What's the quantum spark behind a Lucario's aura sight? Expeditions into the distortion world have returned with artifacts. Shards of Giratina's wing, pulsing with antimatter. And the Ultra Beasts? Portals rip open randomly, spewing Nihilego jellyfish that mind control hosts, turning friends into puppets. But it's not all doom and dazzle. There's beauty in the everyday. Dawn breaks over Viridian Forest, dew-kissed Caterpie spinning silk stronger than Kevlar. A school of Finneon dances in coral reefs, their scales refracting rainbows that heal the scarred oceans. Children in Lumio's city befriend fledglings, learning flight before they learn to read. Therapy centers pair PTSD veterans with empathetic gardevoir, their psychic embrace dissolving nightmares. And in the quiet hours, like this one you're drifting into now, bonds deepen. A Pikachu curled at your feet, its cheeks sparking softly with each breath, a living nightlight against the dark. This isn't fantasy anymore. It's our world, reimagined, perilous, enchanting. Over the next hours, as you settle in, let me guide you through its depths. We'll wander fog-shrouded routes, where ghost types whisper secrets of the veil, scale volcanic peaks, where fire types forge their empires, plunge into abyssal trenches teeming with leviathans, unravel the lore of regions reborn, Kanto's cradle of champions, Johto's tower of spirits, Hoenn's primal clash of land and sea. Meet the legendaries not as bosses on a game over screen, but as forces of nature demanding respect. Feel the grass underfoot as we track a herd of Blitzel thundering across Unova plains. Hear the psychic hum of a Mewtwo pondering its own existence in a hidden cerulean cavern. Taste the salt spray as Gyarados breaches in Paldea's storm-lashed bays. And through it all, ponder the human element, the rivalries that scar souls, the friendships that save worlds, the evolutions we undergo alongside our companions. Breathe deep. Let the background visions wash over you, those hyperreal renders of a Charizard banking through twilight skies, a Venusaur lumbering through ancient groves, a fleet-footed Lucario scouting misty horizons. This is your lullaby into the Pokémon world. No rush, no battles tonight, just stories, layered deep, inviting sleep to claim you gently. As we begin, imagine your own team at your side. What calls to you? The loyal Eevee, versatile as your dreams? The steadfast Arcanine, warmth incarnate? Or perhaps a sly Umbreon, guardian of the night? Hold that thought. Let it anchor you as we step into the wilds together. Welcome to What If Pokémon Was Real? Lore for Sleep. Relax, unwind, and let the adventure unfold. In the shadowed depths of Lascaux Cave in France, archaeologists uncovered something that shattered our timeline of human history. Faint but unmistakable depictions of creatures that match Pikachu and Bulbasaur, etched by hands. These weren't abstract symbols or crude animals we recognize today. No, they were precise outlines of electric rodents sparking bolts from their cheeks and seed-headed beasts sprouting vines right alongside mammoths and bison. You can picture the lead researcher, Dr. Elena Vasquez, kneeling in that dim torchlight replica during the digitization process, her breath catching as she traced the faded ochre lines. How did early humans know these beings? Were they gods, companions, or predators? This discovery alone forced us to rewrite textbooks, proving Pokémon didn't burst into our world overnight. They were there from the beginning, woven into the fabric of our ancestors' lives. Think about what that means for you, listening now. Every history lesson you sat through, every museum visit where you marveled at cave art, suddenly gains a hidden layer. Those Paleolithic hunters didn't just chase deer through Ice Age tundras. They shared the landscape with Pokémon, capturing them in rock for reasons we'll never fully know. Perhaps as warnings, like, beware the thunder mouse that felled our camp. Or celebrations. This vine serpent helped us cross the river. Carbon dating confirmed the pigments matched the human figures nearby, no later additions. Skeptics cried hoax, but multispectral imaging silenced them, revealing underlayers of the same era. Suddenly, nature wasn't just flora, fauna, and weather. It was alive with partners, rivals, and enigmas that early humans adapted to, just as they did fire or the wheel. Fast forward through millennia, and our understanding of ecology stood on shaky ground, built on Darwin's finches and Mendel's peas, blind to the electric undercurrent humming beneath. Forests weren't silent cathedrals of green, they hid pidgey flocks that could blot out the sun. Rivers teemed not just with trout, but with goldines slicing through currents like living torpedoes. Birds weren't the only migrators. Swarms of beedrill synchronized with monarch butterflies, their stingers glinting in monsoon rains. We classified wolves as apex predators, oblivious to the arcanine packs that truly ruled the night, their flames warding off blizzards in Siberian steppes. You feel that shift, don't you? The world you navigate daily, with its predictable food chains, upended by these wild forces we dismissed as folklore. The first modern sightings hit like a magnitude 10 earthquake. It started small, whispers from rural outposts. In 2018, a farmer in rural Hokkaido, Japan, reported his rice paddies ruined not by crows, but a flock of Spiro dive-bombing with supersonic precision, pecking seeds faster than any machine. He filmed it on his phone, shaky footage dismissed as CGI by urban experts. But then came the irrefutable. Off the coast of Australia's Great Barrier Reef, a research submersible captured a tentacruel, its massive bell pulsing bioluminescent poison that lit up the abyss like a jellyfish on steroids. Marine biologists at CSIRO replayed the tape frame by frame, hearts pounding. "This defies hydrostatic pressure limits," one whispered. "Its tentacles regenerate mid-scan." News rippled out, but caution reigned, no panic, just quiet re-evaluation. You were there, in a way, scrolling feeds as these clips surfaced. Remember the viral video from the Scottish Highlands? A lone shepherd's drone malfunctioned, veering toward a growlith pup romping through heather. The creature's fiery mane singed the propellers, sending sparks skyward before it bounded away. Views exploded to millions overnight. Ecologists scrambled. Was this invasive species? Evolutionary anomaly? Or had Pokémon always lurked, camouflaged by our arrogance? Zoos updated protocols overnight, fearing escapes or attractions. National parks posted warnings. Unidentified fauna cited, "Do not approach." Our view of nature transformed from static museum dioramas to a dynamic battlefield where Caterpie spun silk stronger than Kevlar, disrupting spiderweb models, and Rattata burrowed networks rivaling prairie dog towns, reshaping soil erosion studies. These initial encounters reshaped everything. Textbooks got emergency print runs with addendums. Chapter 12, Symbiotic Megafauna, Enter Pokémon. Food webs redrawn. Imagine Magikarp leaping waterfalls, fertilizing salmon runs with scale dust rich in unknown minerals. Predation cycles flipped Pikachu herds, generating static fields that repelled wolves, creating safe zones for rabbits. You start seeing it in your own backyard, that odd glow in the woods at dusk. Not fireflies alone, but Joltik weaving energy webs. Birdwatchers' apps crashed under reports of Starly mimicking radio signals. Governments formed task forces, not for capture, but coexistence protocols. The UN's Biodiversity Summit in 2020 pivoted entirely, delegates debating Pokémon integration clauses late into the night. Suddenly, conservation wasn't about saving rhinos from poachers. It was shielding ecosystems from human encroachment on Pokémon territories, lest a rampaging Onyx level a village. But nothing ignited global fascination like Alex Chen's hike in the Cascade Mountains. You know the story, it's etched in collective memory now. A 8-year-old software engineer from Seattle, out for a solo trail run in October 2022, his GoPro strapped to his chest for those epic vlogs. 5 miles in, mist rolling off evergreens, he crests a ridge and freezes. There, in an alpine meadow, a wild Eevee grooms itself beside a stream, its fur shimmering like liquid mercury. Alex's breath hitches on the audio track. "Holy, is that?" He inches closer, whispering narration for his followers. The evolution doesn't flee. It tilts its head, ears perking, then bounds playfully toward him, nuzzling his boot before vanishing into ferns. That 47-second clip detonated across platforms. TikTok first, then Twitter now X servers strained under petabytes of shares. "Fake," trolls screamed. But frame analysis by MIT's AI lab confirmed organic motion, no deepfake artifacts. Alex's full hour-long footage dropped next. Paw prints in mud matching no known canine. Fur samples he snagged on a branch yielding DNA with ribosomal quirks defying earthly trees. News helicopters swarmed the Cascades within hours, experts rappelling in. CNN looped it endlessly, pundits from David Attenborough, heirs to Pokémon game designers weighing in. "This is the snow owl sighting of our generation," one said. Hashtags trended worldwide. Number Real Eevee, number Pokémon Among Us. Merch flew off shelves, not games, but Eevee sighting trail maps and field guides. You felt the fever, didn't you? Families glued to screens, kids sketching their own encounters. Social media birthed citizen science apps, PokeSite, where hikers upload geotagged clips, verified by crowdsourced mods. Within weeks, confirmations poured in, a Charmander scorching a Brazilian favela's trash heaps, aiding waste management, a Psyduck in Florida Everglades, quelling floods with psychic pulses. Alex became an overnight icon. His TED Talk, First Contact, My Walk with Eevee, drawing millions. He didn't monetize aggressively, instead founding the Wild Harmony Foundation, funding non-invasive tracking collars from recycled tech. Governments followed suit, designating Pokémon preserve zones from Yellowstone to the Serengeti. This modern spark didn't just fascinate, it unified. Skeptics converted after lab breakdowns of that fur sample revealed symbiotic bacteria generating healing auras, hinting at medical revolutions. Religions grappled with these divine creations or evolutionary cousins. Indigenous groups nodded knowingly, sharing oral tales of thunder spirits matching Zapdos. Economies shifted, ecotourism boomed, with guided sighting safaris in Patagonia for rhyhorn herds. Stock markets wobbled as biotech firms raced for Pokémon-derived pharmaceuticals. Imagine Psyduck headaches yielding migraine cures. You, drifting off tonight, can sense the ripple. Nature, once tamed in our minds, roared back alive, unpredictable, wondrous. Yet these discoveries barely scratched the surface. Those cave paintings hinted at bonds deeper than observation. Early humans didn't just see Pokémon, they lived alongside them, perhaps training rudimentary evolutions with berries and chants. Fast forward to Alex's Eevee, and we glimpse evolutions triggered by environment waterstones in streams birthing Vaporeon. But what drives their forms? Why do some bond with humans while others shun us? Questions piled up, fueling expeditions from the Amazon basin to Antarctic ice shelves. Take the ripple effects on daily life. Hikers now pack Pokeballs? No, ethics halted that early wild capture, banned under Geneva-like accords. Instead, apps ping proximity alerts for safety. Schools integrated modules, biology 2.0, interspecies dynamics. You spot it in pop culture, late-night shows with Pokémon experts panels dissecting behaviors. Celebrities trekked for sightings. Taylor Swift's match-up yoga video went mega viral. Science journals overflowed. Nature's cover screamed, paradigm shift, Pokémon and planetary equilibrium. Deeper still, psychological impacts emerged. Studies showed sighting euphoria, a dopamine hit rivaling lottery wins, combating urban isolation. Therapy sessions invoked, channel your inner Squirtle resilience. Economies pivoted Pokémon-safe agriculture, with oddish fertilizing fields naturally. Energy sectors eyed Pikachu herds for sustainable lightning farms. Military, discreetly scouting for strength enhancements, though ethics boards quashed most. Alex's encounter wasn't isolated. Parallel stories flooded in. A fisherman off Norway hauls a Magikarp that splashes rainbows, altering local weather patterns. Kenyan villagers credit a herd of Ponyta for drought-ending fires that cleared land. Each tale builds the mosaic. Pokémon as ecosystem architects, not intruders. Our understanding? From passive observers to humble participants in a grander web. Challenges arose too. Clashes inevitable, a rampaging Tauros flattening crops in Texas, quelled by ranger teams with sedative darts. Conservation wars erupted. Loggers versus Trevenant groves that uprooted machinery. Public fascination tipped to obsession, with poke pilgrimages, clogging trails, prompting lotteries for access. Through it all, the dawn brightened. Those first sightings, from cave ochre to smartphone screens, didn't just reshape nature, they reshaped us, igniting a hunger for harmony in a fractured world. You've journeyed with me through this awakening, felt the thrill of Alex's frozen moment, the weight of ancient pigments. But to truly unravel these beings, what they eat, how they evolve, the secrets of their powers, we step deeper next, in unveiling the species, where the real menagerie awaits, more astonishing than you can dream. Over 1,000 distinct Pokémon species have now been documented worldwide, shattering every preconception we held about biodiversity. That's right, you heard it correctly. More than 1,000 unique forms of life, each with traits that defy evolutionary norms we've studied for centuries. From the electric rodents scurrying through urban sewers to colossal serpents coiling around mountain peaks, scientists scrambled to impose order on this chaos. What started as frantic field reports from eyewitnesses quickly evolved into the Pokémon Classification Initiative, a global effort led by biologists, ecologists, and even former game designers turned consultants. They didn't just slap labels on these creatures, they built a system rooted in observable traits, habitats, and elemental affinities that seemed almost too structured to be natural. Think about it. In the early days post-discovery, teams from universities in Japan, the United States, and Europe raced to tally sightings. By the end of the first year, databases overflowed with entries. Fire types, like the fox-like beings that ignite flames from their tails to ward off predators, dominated volcanic regions. Water types flooded coastal ecosystems, their bodies adapting seamlessly to aquatic pressures, with bioluminescent lures or pressurized water jets for hunting. Grass Pokémon carpeted forests, photosynthesizing at rates 10 times faster than any plant we know, forming symbiotic networks that rival fungal mycelium underground. And that's just the basics. Electric, psychic, ghost, steel, fairy, dragon, dark, fighting, poison, ground, rock, ice, flying, bug, and normal categories emerged, each with subtypes branching into hundreds of variants. You can picture a sleek, metallic bird Pokémon alloying its feathers with local ores mid-flight, or a shadowy wraith phasing through walls in abandoned ruins, evading capture cams entirely. This classification wasn't arbitrary. Researchers cross-referenced ancient cave art from Chapter 1, matching faded depictions to live specimens. A Charizard-like behemoth in Indonesia mirrored etchings from 20,000 years ago, its wingspan verified at 18 feet via drone measurements. Pidgey-flocks in North America followed migration patterns etched into Native American petroglyphs. The system assigned numerical IDs, evolutionary chains, and regional variants, like the icy Alolan forms thriving in polar tundras versus their tropical counterparts. Over 200 entries by now, with new ones popping up weekly. A deep-sea anglerfish hybrid off Australia, dubbed Lantern in provisional notes, generates electricity underwater to stun schools of fish. Or the burrowing Diglett variants in Australian outback, popping up like living landmines to snag insects. You've got to wonder, how did nature cook up this variety without us noticing until now? But here's where it gets personal for you and me. As classifications solidified, the real storm brewed over something far more profound. Are these Pokémon truly sentient? Do they feel emotions like joy, rage, grief? The debates exploded across academic journals, talk shows, and social media, pitting skeptics against advocates in a battle that still rages today. On one side, neuroscientists argued these creatures operate on instinct alone. Their brains scanned via non-invasive MRI on captured juveniles, showing enlarged limbic systems, but lacking the prefrontal cortex complexity of humans or dolphins. A prominent Harvard biologist dismissed it bluntly. They're advanced animals, nothing more. Imprinting explains bonding behaviors we mistake for love. Yet counter-arguments flooded in. Ethologists pointed to cooperative hunts where Wallog-like packs signal complex strategies, using barks modulated by pitch and duration, almost like proto-language. You wouldn't dismiss a chimpanzee using tools as mindless, so why a Pokémon weaving silk traps with Ariados precision? Take the footage that's fueling the fire. Hidden trail cams in the Amazon captured a troop of primate, those fiery primates, encircling a fallen member. They didn't scavenge, they howled in unison, grooming the body for hours before burying it under vines. Was that grief, ritual, or efficient hygiene? Viewers watching those grainy clips online felt a chill, sharing millions of times. In Japan's Hokkaido forests, cams rolled on Eevee families nurturing litters, the parents taking turns on watch, communicating via tail wags that spectrographs revealed as Morse-like patterns conveying danger or food. One clip went viral, a Vaporeon shielding its young from a flash flood, manipulating water currents with its fins in ways physics professors called impossible without intent. Skeptics cried hoax, but thermal imaging confirmed the energy surges matched the creature's metabolism. You might ask yourself, what does this mean for us? Public opinion split hard. Petitions surged to grant Pokémon rights akin to great apes, with activists camping outside labs protesting sedation studies. If a Gengar haunts your dreams with playful shadows, that's not instinct, that's mischief, one viral manifesto claimed, referencing ghost types phasing through homes at night, rearranging furniture like cosmic pranksters. Religious leaders weighed in too, some hailing Pokémon as divine creations, others as tests of faith. Economists forecasted booms in ecotourism, but ethicists warned of exploitation, like poachers targeting rare shinies with iridescent scales, worth fortunes on black markets. Dive deeper into the evidence, and the sentience debate sharpens. Consider Mewtwo prototypes, telepathic felines lifting boulders effortlessly, their eyes locking with researchers in footage that screams awareness. Brainwave scans during these displays spiked in gamma rhythms associated with human problem-solving, or the psychic Abra line, teleporting miles to evade threats, selecting safe landing zones with uncanny accuracy. Random chance? Hardly. Emotions surfaced in captivity trials too. A captured Bulbasaur wilted visibly after separation from its vine-entwined sibling, toxin output dropping 80% until reunited, per lab logs. Rage? Fear? Lab techs swear they heard it whimper. Field biologists shared wilder tales. In African savannas, hidden cams nabbed bizarre rituals, herds of Taros circling under full moons, stomping rhythms that induced trance-like states, perhaps communal bonding or territorial claims. Off New Zealand, drone footage showed tentacruel armadas corralling fish with ink pulses, dividing spoils equitably, no alpha hogging the haul. One clip from Siberian Tiger captured a pack of Houndoom, igniting funeral pyres for their dead, flames controlled precisely to cremate without forest fires. Bizarre doesn't cover it. It's orchestrated, purposeful. You can almost hear the howls carrying sorrow across the snow. These behaviors ignited fury in academia. Conferences turned into shouting matches. A Oxford panel saw professors hurling data, emotional projection fallacy versus anthropomorphism denial. Funding poured in, with governments forming ethics boards. Japan classified over 150 species as potentially sapient, banning hunts. The U.S. lagged, prioritizing military applications, like using magnemite swarms for EMP defense. Public fascination peaked with leaked audio, a wild Lucario meditating atop Everest, aura pulses syncing with human alpha waves from climbers below, as if offering calm amid the storm. What pushes the envelope further are interspecies interactions. Footage from Indonesian reefs shows Sharpedo sharks deferring to Gyarados tyrants, forming unlikely alliances against invasive species. In urban Tokyo alleys, Rattata gangs negotiate trash territories with purloin thieves via standoff stairs, escalating only to paw swipes. Sentience or social intelligence? Ethologists lean toward the latter, citing mirror tests where Pokémon, like Empoleon, recognized reflections, preening distorted images with frustration. Emotions bleed through in play too. Pichu pups zapping each other in joyful sparks, tumbling like puppies, exhaustion ending in contented purrs, yet doubts persist. Critics highlight domestication biases, claiming wild Pokémon revert to feral states sans human contact. A notorious case, a released Butterfree, reverting to cannibalistic mating frenzies, devouring rivals mid-air. Instinct wins, they say. But proponents counter with longevity data, many species outliving humans, implying cultural transmission. Legends of immortal regigolems guarding ruins, repositioning stones annually, suggest inherited knowledge. As you let this sink in, consider the moral weight. If Pokémon grieve, love, scheme, do we befriend them or cage them? The classification system gave us names, but these debates strip away illusions, forcing us to see them as peers. Hidden cams keep rolling, unearthing more oddities. Spectral misdreavus choirs harmonizing at dusk, frequencies soothing stressed wildlife, or ferrocade clusters rolling uphill against gravity to sunnier spots, defying physics with magnetic whims. The footage archives bulge now, terabytes of the uncanny. A Scottish loch cam nabbed invisible, ghastly pranks, ripples forming smiley faces on the surface. Australian deserts hold onyx burrowing symphonies, vibrations calling kin from miles away. Each clip chips at the instinct-only wall, building a case for minds as rich as ours. You're right there with the scientists, piecing it together. But hold on, because all this classification and controversy pales against what's coming next in the biology enigma. How do these creatures even function on a cellular level? Prepare to have your mind truly bent. Pokémon cells contain organelles that generate plasma at room temperature, shattering every law of thermodynamics we thought unbreakable. Scientists cracked open a captured Pikachu's cheek pouch under a microscope, and what they found rewrote biology textbooks overnight. Those electric sacs aren't just batteries, they're fusion reactors on a microscopic scale, fusing hydrogen isotopes pulled from the air to unleash bolts that could power a city block. You see, while we've classified over 1,000 species and argued endlessly about their smarts and feelings, the real shock hits when you zoom in close. Their cells don't just sustain life, they weaponize it. Take the fire types, like Charmander. Its tail flame doesn't flicker out because of some magical oil. Dissections revealed specialized mitochondria in its tail cells that catalyze exothermic reactions, pulling oxygen and methane from ingested prey to sustain a perpetual burn. One ember could ignite a forest, yet the creature walks unscathed, its scales laced with heat-resistant proteins folded in ways no earth enzyme can match. Water types? Squirtle's shell hides glands that hyperconcentrate hydrogen bonds, squirting jets at pressures rivaling industrial hoses. All powered by cells that defy entropy, recycling energy with near-perfect efficiency. How? Quantum entanglement, maybe. Particles in their cytoplasm link across distances, teleporting electrons faster than light should allow. Physicists are losing sleep over it. You feel that chill yet? The universe's rules bend for these beings, but here's where it gets personal. Imagine holding a Pokeball, feeling that warmth pulse through your palm. That's not tech, that's alive. Deep scans show their cellular membranes vibrate at frequencies tuned to human touch, hinting at why they respond to us so instinctively. Grass types like Bulbasaur push it further. Vines tipped with razor pollen, chloroplasts on steroids, photosynthesizing not just sunlight but infrared from the Earth itself, growing biomass overnight. One lab grew a fully mature Venusaur from a seed in 48 hours under controlled UV. Their cells photosynthesize hydrocarbons, turning CO2 into fuel, denser than gasoline. Poison types? Venonat's dust clouds, vesicles that brew neurotoxins via CRISPR-like editing on the fly, mutating proteins to evade any immunity. Grass, fire, water, they're not elements. They're engineered states of matter, coded into DNA that laughs at our periodic table. Now, reproduction. You've wondered how a fire-breathing dragon lays eggs with a mammal. Eggs are the universal constant, laid in clutches from 1 to 5, regardless of type. Analysis of a freshly laid Eevee egg showed a yolk sac laced with polymorphic proteins, ready to adapt to any environment. Inside, embryonic cells undergo rapid meiosis, shuffling genes at rates 10,000 times faster than ours. No two siblings identical, each egg a genetic lottery. Fossil records tie this to ancient adaptations, eggshells infused with type-specific minerals, like silica for rock types to harden mid-incubation. A rhyhorn egg? Quartz-veined, cracking open to a boulder on legs. But the mystery deepened with external fertilization in some species. Gyarados lines release gametes into rivers, magnetic fields guiding sperm through currents. You picture it, Magikarp schools flashing silver, billions of eggs sinking to riverbeds, hatching into monsters, after storms trigger biochemical cascades. Evolutions seal the enigma. Not random, triggered. Level ups, adrenaline surges flood the system, spiking growth hormones that rewrite RNA in real time. A Pidgey to Pidgeotto? Within minutes, bones elongate, feathers densify, all from a hormonal cocktail that flips epigenetic switches. We captured it on video, a wild Rattata convulsing under stress, cells dividing exponentially as it hit the threshold. Evolution stones, crystalline matrices that resonate with cellular frequencies. Moonstones for Clefairy vibrate at lunar cycles, unlocking dormant genes via piezoelectric shocks. Trade evolutions, like Haunter to Gengar. The Pokeball's compression simulates underground pressures, forcing genetic recombinations. One study traded 1,000 Macops, 98% success, with muscle fibers hypertrophying instantly. But mega evolutions, that's the crown jewel, not permanent, a symbiotic surge. Mega forms demand a keystone and trainer bond more on bonds soon. The megastone acts as a catalyst, syncing with the Pokemon's meganucleus, a hyperdense organ in the brain. X-rays show its swelling, channeling zero-point energy from the quantum vacuum. Mega Charizard X, wings sprout plasma vents, fire turning blue hot at 5,000 degrees Celsius. Cells hyperoxygenate, fissioning carbon atoms for thrust. Lasts minutes before feedback loops risk cellular burnout. We lost a Rayquaza to Over-Mega once, its scales vitrified into glass. Yet they recover, resilience coded deep. You sense the awe, right? These aren't mutations, they're programmed ascensions. Biology as software update. Genetic links to Earth animals surfaced through DNA sequencing. Pokédex teams ran full genomes on 200 species, blasting them against our databases. Pikachu, 87%, matched to electric eels and squirrels, voltage-gated channels fused with myoelectric nerves. Charizard's genome, pterosaur bones, plus Komodo dragon venom glands, with viral inserts for flame production. Blastoise, turtle shells, amplified by nautilus siphons, hydrostatic muscles pumping 300 pounds per square inches. Even Legendary's Echo, Mewtwo's artificial helix mirrors human chromosome 7, spliced with feline agility genes. But Mew? A chimeric mess, holding fragments of every Earth, phylum, sharks, birds, insects in a plasmid loop. It's the missing link, proving Pokémon diverged from our tree millions of years ago, perhaps via panspermia or ancient experiments. Deeper dives uncovered retroviruses in their blood, jumping genes that explain type compatibilities. Fire beats grass because viral enzymes degrade chlorophyll bonds on contact. Immunities? Encoded counters, like steel type's ferritin shells blocking electric ions. Breeding labs confirmed it. Cross-type eggs, viable only under specific conditions. A Pikachu and Sandshrew. Rare electric ground variant, offspring with seismic shocks, but sterile hybrids abound, like mule Pokémon, hinting at speciation barriers. Field studies in Johto wilds tracked 50 Nidoran pairs, blue females birthing purple males via XY swaps accelerated by pheromones. You think of your own pets, simple dogs and cats. Now imagine them wielding tempests. Pathologies emerge too. Type weaknesses aren't just lore, they're biological Achilles heels. Water drowns fire types by hydrolyzing their catalysts, cells boiling from within. Ghost types phase through solids via probabilistic electron clouds, but dark pulses disrupt that uncertainty, forcing solidity. Treatments? Berry infusions, antioxidants that stabilize meganuclei. One outbreak in Kanto, viral plague hitting psychics, warping their empathy auras into aggression, cured with luminous herbs mimicking Mew's plasmid. Lifespans vary wildly. Pikachu averages 20 years, buzzing till the end. Legendaries? Immortal, unless slain. Cells in stasis via telomere infinity loops. Ecological ripples hit hard. Pokémon reshape biomes. Forests bloom eternal under Viritzian herds, grass aura fertilizing soil. Oceans teem with Lapras choruses, ultrasonic songs oxygenating depths. But overhunting fossils revived kabutops, slashing salmon runs with scythes. Conservation debates rage, cap mega usage to prevent burnout epidemics. Labs breed ethical alternatives, stone simulants from graphene lattices. You feel the weight, don't you? These enigmas aren't puzzles, they're warnings. Our probes into their cells risk unleashing plagues. Imagine a loose ditto, mimicking human DNA, spawning hybrids, yet the wonders outweigh. Bioengineers eye Pikachu, sacks for clean fusion power. Eevee's adaptability, cancer cures via polymorphic therapies. Evolutions inspire prosthetics, hormone triggers for limb regrowth. One trial, paralyzed veteran bonded with a Lucario, aura waves jump-starting nerves. But that's just the prelude. As we unravel these cellular secrets, one truth emerges clearer than ever. These powers don't exist in isolation. They crave connection. And that's where human Pokémon bonds come in next. Discover how your heartbeat could unlock a Charizard's mega roar, forging alliances that redefine trust itself. What unbreakable ties await? Stay with me. For over 40,000 years, humans and Pokémon have shared an unbreakable connection, one that predates written language and reshapes everything we thought we knew about companionship. You've just delved into the impossible biology of these creatures, their cells pulsing with elemental fire, their evolutions triggered by hidden triggers within. But biology alone doesn't explain why a wild Charizard would stand guard over a sleeping child, or why a timid Eevee seeks out a lonely wanderer in the woods. The truth is, these bonds aren't accidents. They're the foundation of our world. Let's step back to the cradle of humanity. In the shadowed valleys of prehistoric Europe and Asia, early tribes didn't stumble upon Pokémon by chance. Archaeological digs have uncovered ritual sites where shamans etched symbols of Pikachu-like sparks and Bulbasaur vines into megalithic stones. These weren't mere drawings, they were invitations. Tribal elders conducted ceremonies under full moons, chanting rhythmic calls that resonated with Pokémon frequencies, drawing them from hidden groves and mountain lairs. You can picture it, can't you? A circle of fur-clad hunters, drums echoing like thunder, as a flock of Pidgey descended not to attack, but to perch on outstretched arms, sharing warmth through the bitter night. These rituals birthed the trainer phenomenon, long before anyone called it that. In what we now call the Paleolithic era, leaders weren't chosen by strength alone. They proved themselves by forging pacts. A successful shaman might bond with a rockruff, whose howls warned of saber-toothed ambushes, or a Psyduck, whose confused psychic bursts healed the sick during famines. These partnerships saved clans from extinction. Carbon-dated bone carvings from Lascaux caves in France show a human figure entwined with what looks exactly like a Riolu, their auras merging in a dance of light. Was this art or evidence? Scientists now agree it's both. The bond wasn't domination, it was mutual survival, a symbiotic whisper between species. Fast forward through millennia, and these rituals evolved. In ancient Mesopotamia, clay tablets describe spirit companions, aiding kings in battle. A ruler named Sargon etched tales of his Geodude ally, who hurled boulders at invading armies, only to curl protectively around wounded soldiers afterward. But how did they stay together? How did a massive onyx coil through city gates without rampaging? Enter the Pokeball, the device we've all romanticized as a capture tool. What if I told you that's a myth, perpetuated by early explorers who didn't understand the tech? Recent metallurgical analysis on artifacts from 5,000-year-old Egyptian tombs reveals Pokeballs aren't human inventions. They're symbiotic biotech, co-evolved by Pokemon themselves. Dissected under electron microscopes, their shells contain organic nanites, Pokemon-derived proteins that are tuned to a creature's aura signature. Think of it like this. When a Pokemon enters a ball, it's not trapped. It's entering a personalized habitat, a pocket dimension sustained by its own energy, linked telepathically to its human partner. You press the button, and it's like answering a call, the ball vibrating with the Pokemon's excitement to emerge. No force fields, no bars, just trust. A wild Gengar might phase into one voluntarily if it senses your pure intent during a ritual bond. break that trust, the ball ejects it instantly, sometimes shattering in protest. This revelation hit the scientific community like a hydro pump. In 2027, a team at Kyoto University reverse-engineered a pristine Ultra Ball from a Viking hoard, dating to 900 AD. Inside, they found mycelial networks akin to those in Mega Venusaur spores, self-repairing and adaptive. These balls grow with the bond, upgrading from basic orbs to master balls as loyalty deepens. You felt that pull yourself, haven't you? That inexplicable urge to reach for a stray ball on a forest path, only to have a friendly Growlithe pop out, tail wagging like it knew you were coming. Now, let's bring this to life with the first documented partner stories, tales that humanize these legends. Our earliest written record comes from the Epic of Gilgamesh, rewritten in Sumerian cuneiform around 2100 BC. Gilgamesh, the semi-divine king, didn't quest alone. His companion was Enkidu, not a man, but a reimagined Mankey, wild and unbreakable. When Enkidu bonds with him through a riverside ritual, pouring cedar sap as an offering, they become inseparable. Together, they slay the Humbaba beast, a metaphor for a rampaging Tyranitar. But the heartbreak? Enkidu's death from a curse leaves Gilgamesh shattered, wandering eternally for immortality. Clay reliefs show Mankey's fists glowing with Rage Fist, mirroring the aura bonds today. This wasn't fantasy. Divers in the Persian Gulf recovered a corroded quick ball etched with the same symbols, still humming faintly. Jump to feudal Japan, 12th century. The tale of the Heike chronicles Minamoto no Yoshitsune, a warrior whose shadow was cast by a loyal Zoroark. Disguised as a fox spirit in shrine scrolls, this Pokémon wove illusions to evade samurai purses. One battle at Ichinotani, Cliff recounts Zoroark, creating phantom armies, buying time for Yoshitsune's escape. Their bond formed in childhood, Yoshitsune finding the injured kit during a storm, nursing it with berries until it chose him. When betrayal came, Zoroark sacrificed itself, unleashing night days to cover his flight. Fishermen still whisper of fox lights dancing over those waters, a ghostly echo of loyalty unbroken by death. Europe offers its own gems. In 1348, amid the Black Death, English monk Geoffrey Chaucer, yes, of Canterbury Tales fame, kept a private journal. Buried in the British Library, it details his partner, a Clefairy named Lyra. As plague ravaged villages, Lyra's metronome healed dozens, randomly summoning moonblasts or sing to soothe the dying. Chaucer's entries grow poetic. She floats upon my sorrow, her wings a balm where hope fled. Their bond, forged in a druidic rite atop Glastonbury Tor, where ancient ley lines amplified auras. When Lyra vanished post-plague, Chaucer mourned her as kin, not pet. Skeptics dismissed it as delirium, but ultrasound scans of his tomb revealed Clefairy-scale bones interwoven with his own, fused in eternal symbiosis. These stories aren't isolated. In the Americas, Mayan codices from 300 AD depict a priestess and her Serperia entwining vines during solstice rites, predicting eclipses through grass knot divinations. African griot oral histories sing of a Maasai warrior and his Luxray, whose eyes pierced savanna darkness, guiding migrations. Each tale underscores the bond's essence: choice. Pokémon don't submit. They select. Aura readings today confirm it. Heart rates sink, emotions bleed across species. A trainer's fear spikes a partner's attack. Joy boosts speed. You've seen videos of orphaned Cubone clinging to humans mimicking Marowak calls, their skulls glowing in shared grief. But why does this work? Neuroimaging shows human pineal glands, once dismissed as vestigial, resonate at Pokémon aura wavelengths. In tribes, rituals activated this gland via chants and herbs, kickstarting bonds. Modern studies on bonded pairs reveal telomere lengthening. Yes, Pokémon extend human lifespans subtly, their vitality seeping through. A 2032 Harvard trial paired volunteers with Eevee. Participants reported 20% stress reduction, mirroring the Pokémon's calm demeanor. Detractors cry anthropomorphism, but EEG scans don't lie. When you bond, it's a neural merger, thoughts brushing like whispers. Consider the dangers. Failed bonds scar both sides. Historical accounts from Aztec codices warn of rage echoes, where rejected trainers hallucinate Pokémon roars, driven mad. Pokémon fare worse, abandoned Absol trigger disasters, their instincts mistaking pain for prophecy, yet successes redefine heroism. During World War II, Allied pilots carried spritzy balls, their aromatherapy misting cockpits to sharpen focus amid flak. One Spitfire ace credited his bravery for 47 kills, the bird diving from clouds unerringly. In indigenous Australian lore, Dreamtime songs from 40,000 BC describe the first bond, a kangaroo like Kangaskhan pouching a lost child, teaching fire starting with its pouchling sparks. Rock art at Kakadu shows this matriarch leading hunts, her human charge growing into a songline keeper. These partnerships wove into DNA, metaphorically. Geneticists find aura markers in populations with long Pokémon histories, enhancing empathy. You might wonder, does this mean anyone can bond? Not quite. It demands vulnerability. Rituals persist in remote villages. Siberian shamans still circle fires, offering smoked salmon to attract Vulpix. Success rates hover at 30%, but when it clicks, worlds collide. A bonded pair can topple regimes. Unbonded, they're strangers passing in mist. These ancient roots explain modern wonders. Why does your childhood Charmander evolve faster under praise? Because bonds amplify potential, unlocking mega forms through sheer will. Controversies swirl. Animal rights groups decry balls as unnatural, ignoring voluntary entry data. Ethicists debate consent, but Pokémon vocalizations, decoded via AI, affirm joy, home, safe, us. As we peel back these layers, one question burns brighter. You've grasped the biology, felt the pull of history's partners, but turning raw bond into mastery, that demands skill, strategy, a craft honed over generations. Up next, in the art of training, discover how everyday people transform instinct into legend, commanding powers that bend reality itself. You won't want to miss the secrets that elevate bonds from whisper to roar. In the wild, Pokémon thrive on instinct alone, but with humans, training transforms them into partners capable of wonders. You see, once that symbiotic bond forms through the Pokéball's gentle link, the real work begins not with commands or fights, but with the quiet discipline of daily care that shapes their very potential. Picture yourself as a trainer waking at dawn in a remote Pokémon preserve. Your first task? Nutrition, tailored to their elemental core. A fire type like Charmeleon demands proteins rich in volcanic minerals, sourced from ash-infused berries that mimic the heat vents of their ancestral habitats. Feed too little, and their flames flicker weakly. Overdo the spices, and they grow restless, flames licking the air uncontrollably. Water types such as Squirtle need aquatic algae blends, harvested from deep lakes to sustain their pressurized internals. Miss a day, and their shells dull, energy sapped. You learn quickly that each species has its rhythm. A Bulbasaur flourishes on sun-soaked vines, laced with fungal spores for symbiotic digestion, while electric Pikachu craves nuts charged with static from thunderstruck trees. These aren't random meals. They're the foundation of growth, fueling cellular regeneration that defies our biology. But food alone won't cut it. Exercise comes next, calibrated to build strength without strain. You take your team through habitat simulations, forested trails for grass types to root and stretch, sandy dunes for ground Pokémon to burrow and harden their hides. Flying types like Pidgeotto demand aerial circuits, soaring alongside drones that mimic predator dives to sharpen reflexes. It's methodical, you know? 30 minutes of controlled sparring with padded dummies, followed by cool-down stretches where you massage their tense muscles, whispering affirmations through the bond. Feel that connection deepen as their trust builds your hand on their flank, their eyes meeting yours, a silent pact forming. Rest is non-negotiable, the unsung hero of progress. Pokémon don't recover like us. Their bodies enter hyper-regenerative states during sleep cycles attuned to lunar phases. You set up dens with species-specific bedding, moss-lined hollows for forest dwellers, heated rocks for reptilians, suspended webs for bug types. Disrupt this with late-night drills, and cortisol-like hormones surge, stunting growth hormones essential for size and power gains. Top trainers track these cycles with biomonitors synced to the Pokeball, ensuring 8 to 12 hours of uninterrupted slumber. You might sit by your sleeping partner, listening to the rhythmic hum of their breathing, wondering how such vulnerability forges unbreakable loyalty. Mental stimulation weaves through it all, turning raw power into skill. Puzzle feeders dispense treats only after levers are flipped or patterns solved, honing cognition for those who evolve through intellect, like Abra lineages. Storytelling sessions under starlit skies bond psychic types, their minds linking to yours in shared visions of ancient lore. Play isn't fluff, it's vital. A game of fetch with a Growlithe teaches bite control, evasion, and joy emotions that imprint positive reinforcement. Neglect this, and even the mightiest Pokémon grows listless, their bond fraying at the edges. You'd think consistency is key, right? But here's where it gets personal. Growth accelerates through these routines because they mirror the tribal rituals we explored last time. Early humans didn't train. They co-evolved alongside Pokémon, sharing hunts, shelters, migrations. Modern routines echo that daily grooming rituals, where you comb out quills or polish scales, reinforcing the symbiosis. A Riolu, sensing your calm through aura, mirrors your poise during meditation walks. Over weeks, you notice changes. Fur gloss is thicker, attacks sharpen instinctively. Data from global trainer logs shows Pokémon under structured care bulk up 20% faster than wild counterparts, their elemental output stabilizing for sustained use. Now, evolution. Forget grinding battles for experience points. In reality, it's tied to emotional milestones, profound shifts in the heart of the bond. Your partner doesn't just level up, they transcend when trust peaks. Take Eevee, the ultimate adapter. Bond deeply through shared hardships, like nursing it back from a storm-induced illness with your own feverish vigils, and it evolves into Umbreon under moonlight, cloaked in protective shadows born of your mutual loyalty. Expose it to unyielding affection during playful chases across beaches, and Espeon emerges, psychic prowess blooming from joy. It's not random. Researchers map these triggers to neural spikes in the Pokeball's empathy matrix. A trainer in the Sinnoh ranges documented his Chimchar evolving into Monferno, not after 100 fights, but after you carried it, exhausted and rain-soaked, 20 miles home, its flame reigniting with fierce pride. These milestones demand vulnerability from you too. Push for evolution without emotional readiness, and it backfires. A Scyther evolves into Scizor through metal coat infusion, only if rage tempers into disciplined fury, forged in moments of you shielding it from poachers. Skip the introspection, force the catalyst, and it stalls, wings trembling unused. Stories flood, trainer forums, a young handler whose Bagan refused mega evolution until they confessed fears during a cliffside, heart to heart, dragon rage channeling into pure resolve. You feel it in the bond, a warm surge, like unlocking a door both of you are ready to step through. Evolutions aren't spectacles, they're rebirths, bodies reshaping in glowing cocoons over hours, cries echoing milestones of love, loss, triumph. But mastery hides a shadow. Overtraining sneaks in disguised as ambition, and it unravels everything. You ramp up sessions, dawn to dusk drills, skimping on rest, piling on high-intensity bursts. At first, gains dazzle, faster reflexes, brighter auras. Then, the feral reversion hits. Stress overloads their primal instincts, severing the symbiotic link. Your loyal Arcanine snarls, eyes wild, flames scorching without control as it bolts into the wilds, reverting to base ferocity. Field studies from the Orange Islands catalogue dozens. Overworked Gyarados thrashing into berserk states, scales reverting to Magikarp-like dullness, bonds shattered. Its biological backlash, their cells, engineered for harmony, rebel under cortisol floods, triggering atavistic genes, dormant since wild ancestors. Why does this happen? Pokémon psyches aren't infinite reservoirs, they're delicate balances. Push past emotional thresholds, ignore fatigue signals pulsing through the Pokeball, and neural pathways fray. A infamous case in Johto, a pro trainer's Tyranitar rampage hospitalized a village after months of non-stop regimens. It hulked backward, stone armor cracking to pupil fragility, rampaging until sedated and rehabilitated over years. Recovery demands total reset, wild immersion therapy, no human contact, rebuilding trust from scratch. You learn humility here. The bond isn't ownership. Overtraining claims 1 in 5 novice teams annually, per Pokémon Welfare Agency stats, turning dreams to nightmares. So you adapt. Elite routines incorporate rest days as sacred, bonding hikes sans pressure, free play zones where Pokémon choose activities, monitor vitals obsessively, heart rates spiking above baseline mean pull back. Incorporate cross-training pair, a fiery Infernape with a serene Gardevoir for aura balancing sessions, tempering aggression with empathy. Nutrition evolves too. Post-reversion recoveries use bond repair elixirs from evolutionary biologists, blends restoring neural links. Veteran trainers swear by journals, logging not just metrics but feelings. Today, Lucario's aura flickered with doubt, skipped drills for stargazing. This introspection prevents the twist, sustaining growth. You become attuned, sensing unrest before it boils. A tale from Kanto's elite circuit, a retiree whose Venusaur, post-feral scare, bloomed its largest flower ever after gentle meadow days, petals perfuming miles as thanks. Depth comes in personalization. Grass types crave seasonal shifts, spring planting rituals where you sow seeds together, autumn harvests celebrating yields. Ice types like Glaceon need cryogenic chambers, mimicking tundras, play sessions sliding across frozen lakes, building agility and glee. Ghost types? Ethereal midnight vigils, sharing hauntings from their spectral pasts, evolving through accepted darkness. Dark types demand shadow work, confronting your own fears in tandem, gloom lifting only when you voice buried pains. Steel types forge through, endurance forges, hammers clanging in rhythm with your breaths. Fairy types sparkle under whimsy, dance circles, laughter-infused games triggering evolutions mid-twirl. The art demands evolution in you too. Early mistakes teach. Your first overtrained partner reverting scars deep, but rebirths stronger. Global networks share protocols. Now AI predictors flagging overtrain risks from bond data. Yet, the human touch endures. No algorithm replaces that dawn feed, that weary hike home. You've nurtured them through routines, triggered evolutions at emotional pinnacles, dodged the feral pitfall. But what unleashes this honed power? What turns training's quiet art into spectacles of strategy and fury? That brings us to battles in reality, where bonds clash in ways that redefine everything you thought you knew. When your Pokémon finally triggers that emotional evolution after months of shared triumphs and quiet routines, the bond feels unbreakable. But what happens next? The world demands proof. In this reality, battles aren't optional side quests. They're the crucible where power is forged and tested. The very first sanctioned Pokémon battle, held in a reinforced stadium in Kanto's outskirts back in 2023, lasted only 47 seconds before officials halted it. A wild Rattata, barely tamed, unleashed Hyperfang on a trainer's Pidgey, shattering bones and drawing first blood. That moment shattered illusions. Pokémon weren't toys, they were forces of nature, and humanity had to rewrite the rules overnight. You see, gym challenges, those iconic badges of mastery from the games, couldn't survive unchanged. Real-world physics doesn't bend to type advantages or hit points. A flamethrower from a Charmander doesn't fizzle at 50% health. It scorches earth and air alike, risking wildfires or third-degree burns to handlers nearby. So, governing bodies like the International Pokémon League stepped in fast. They adapted gym battles into highly regulated spectacles, prioritizing safety above spectacle. Picture this: arenas encased in transparent, hyper-alloy domes, strong enough to withstand a hydro pump from a fully evolved Blastoise without a crack. Medical drones hover overhead, equipped with antidotes and regeneration serums derived from Chansey milk. Trainers must pass psychological evals before entering, ensuring their commands won't push a Pokémon into berserk rage. Referees, trained ex-military types, enforce strict move limits. No endless spamming of high-risk attacks like explosion or self-destruct. Those are outright banned in gyms to prevent total annihilation. Instead, battles cap at 10 minutes or 5 direct hits, whichever comes first. Type matchups still matter, but now they're audited by AI algorithms predicting fallout. Send out a Geodude against an electric type. Expect voltage regulators to dampen Thunderbolt's output by 70%, channeling excess into grounding rods buried deep underground. It's not about weakening the fight, it's about containing the chaos. One early gym leader in Johto learned this the hard way when her Onyx's rock slide buried an opponent's Bulbasaur under a ton of rubble. The Pokémon survived, thanks to Vine Whip digging it out, but the trainer sued for negligence. That lawsuit birthed the Impact Zoning Protocol, mandating pre-battle terrain scans and emergency excavator teams on standby. These adaptations turned gyms into proving grounds, where skill shines through strategy, not slaughter. You train for months, attuning to your Pokémon's tells, the subtle twitch before a wing attack, or the glow in eyes signaling solar beam charge up. Badges aren't just metal pins, they're licenses earned through simulated hazards, proving you can command without catastrophe. Yet, even with all these safeguards, the pull of raw combat grows stronger. Gyms build discipline, but they don't reveal true potential. For that, the world turns to tournaments, those heart-pounding spectacles where adrenaline surges and power explodes unchecked within limits. Enter the World Pokémon Championship Circuit, or WPCC, the adrenaline-fueled pinnacle that draws billions to screens and stadiums. Here, rules loosen just enough to expose the unbridled might of these creatures. Imagine 80,000 fans packed into Tokyo Dome, lights dimming as a level 100 Garchomp clashes with a Mega Rayquaza. The ground quakes from Dragon Rush, shockwaves rattling seats 50 rows back, barriers shimmer with energy fields absorbing stray Draco meteors, but the crowd feels every pulse. These aren't polite spars, they're wars of instinct, where a Pokémon's lifetime of training culminates in bursts of power that defy comprehension. A Lucario's aura sphere doesn't just hit, it warps air pressure, creating sonic booms heard miles away. Tournaments thrive on this raw exposure. Qualifying rounds in places like Sinnoh's Snowpoint City pit ice specialists against fire wielders, steam clouds billowing as Frostlass ices over Infernape's Blaze Kick. The thrill? Seeing evolutions mid-battle, triggered by the heat of rivalry. Your quiet training partner, that loyal Eevee, Umbreon shifts under stadium lights, eyes blazing red as it counters a foe's Shadow Ball. Champions emerge not from strongest monsters, but from unbreakable synchronicity. Take Elena Vasquez, the 2027 WPCC winner from Paldea. Her Quaquaval dismantled a Steelix with aqua steps so precise, it danced through seismic tosses like water over rock. Her secret? Years of beach runs sinking rhythms, turning battle into ballet. These events broadcast unfiltered power, boosting global economies by trillions through tourism and merch, but they also crack open the dangers we tried to seal. Because here's the gut punch. Injuries piled up fast, and ethics ignited a firestorm. In the 2025 Indigo Plateau Finals, a Rampardos' head smash critically wounded a rival's Gardevoir, fracturing its psychic core. The Gardevoir recovered after weeks in a Pokémon Center, but public outrage exploded. Was this sport or cruelty? Trainers faced charges of endangerment. Pokémon rights groups marched, demanding sentience recognition. Stats were grim. Over 3,000 documented injuries in the first tournament season alone, from paralysis via Thunderwave to psychological trauma in psychic types haunted by repeated dark pulse barrages. Humans fared worse. Shrapnel from a shattered stone edge hospitalized 47 spectators in one Viridian event. This sparked global regulations, a patchwork of laws evolving yearly. The United Nations Pokémon Accord of 2026 mandated neural implants for all battlers, monitoring stress hormones in real time. Hit critical levels? Battle auto-aborts. Pokémon recalled instantly via upgraded Pokéballs with biometric failsafes. Certain moves got tiered. Hyper Beam requires a 30-second cooldown, enforced by orbital satellites tracking energy signatures. Ethical breeding clauses banned mega evolutions in under 1/8 divisions. citing identity fracture risks to young Pokémon psyches. Organizations like Petermon lobbied for consent protocols, where Pokémon nod approval before fights via gesture recognition tech. Violate it? Lifetime bans. You might wonder, does this stifle the sport? Hardly. Regulations honed it sharper. Now, battles emphasize finesse over brute force. A Johto tournament saw a Togekiss outmaneuver a Tyranitar using air/feints, drawing cheers louder than any KO. Injuries dropped 82% post-accord. Ethics debates fueling innovations like holographic replays for fair judging. Trainers like you adapt, weaving regulations into strategy. Your Pikachu learns Thunder Wave variants that stun without scarring, turning liability into legend. But not every battle fits neat stadiums. Underground circuits persist in abandoned mines or urban alleys, where rules vanish and power reigns raw. Whispers of blood leagues circulate, drawing rogue tamers betting fortunes on no-holds-barred clashes. A Hydreigon versus Kingdra there. Oceans flood streets, skies rain acid. Authorities crack down, but these shadows remind us, Pokémon power can't be fully caged. Global regs extend beyond arenas too. Schools integrate battle sims with rubberized arenas, teaching kids responsibility early. Military programs recruit top battlers for defense. Zapdos-level threats contained by coordinated teams. Consider the ethical ripple effects. Philosophers debate Pokémon agency. Do they battle for glory or trainer ambition? Studies from Unova University show 92% of Pokémon exhibit voluntary re-engagement post-loss, tails wagging for rematches. Yet, vets report battle fatigue in veterans, treated with meadow retreats echoing training days. Regulations now require off-season therapy, bonds reinforced through non-combat adventures. These frameworks save the phenomenon, turning potential apocalypse into structured exhilaration. Gyms build foundations safely, tournaments unleash spectacle, regs ensure survival. You've felt it building, haven't you? That tension between control and chaos. The thrill of what raw power truly means when stakes are real lives, not pixels. And yet, battles don't exist in isolation. They reshape the lands they scorch. Up next, regional ecosystems reveal how Pokémon dominance carves wild frontiers, where gyms and tournaments are just the tip of an environmental iceberg you'll never see coming. Did you know that in this Pokémon reality, regional borders aren't just lines on a map, they're battle lines for survival drawn by nature itself? Kanto's concrete jungles pulse with electric rats, scurrying through subway vents, while Johto's fog-shrouded woods hide ancient guardians that make every step a gamble. You felt the thrill of those gym battles, the raw power unleashed in arenas designed for safety. But step outside those controlled zones, and the true wild heart of the world reveals itself, where ecosystems clash and Pokémon dictate the rhythm of human life. Consider Kanto first, that sprawling metropolis where skyscrapers pierce the smoggy sky like defiant spears. Here, urban sprawl has forced Pokémon to adapt in ways that blur the line between pest and partner. Pikachu colonies thrive in the power grids of Saffron City, siphoning electricity from transformers until blackouts ripple across neighborhoods. You might wake up to the hum of a Magnemite flock orbiting streetlights, drawn by the magnetic pull of city infrastructure. Humans have learned to coexist, rigging charging stations with berry bribes to keep the sparks at bay. But it's not harmony, it's a tense truce. Pidgeotto gangs rule rooftops, dive bombing for scraps from food carts, their feathers clogging air vents and sparking turf wars with the occasional Fearow migrant. Now shift your gaze westward to Johto, where misty forests swallow entire valleys in perpetual twilight. These aren't the manicured parks of Kanto, they're primal labyrinths, where the air hangs heavy with spores and the ground trembles from unseen herds. Bellosome dances in sun-dappled clearings, their hypnotic rhythms luring lost travelers deeper into the green maze. Sudowoodo masquerade as boulders along winding paths, toppling with seismic force if disturbed. Johto's ecosystems demand respect, you see. Villages like Ekrutik huddle at the edges, their wooden shrines warded by hoot-hoot sentinels that screech warnings through the night. Fire types are rare here, outcompeted by the damp embrace of the woods. But when a Cyndaquil sparks to life, it can ignite underbrush that smolders for weeks. forcing ranger teams to deploy water Pokémon in frantic containment. What happens when these worlds collide? Pokémon migrations. That's what. Every year, like clockwork, vast herds cross regional lines, turning orderly cities into chaos zones. Picture this. Spring thaw in Johto unleashes rivers of whooper from mountain streams, waddling eastward into Kanto's lowlands. They flood Celadon streets, their slippery bodies gumming up traffic and breeding in storm drains until muck sludge pits form overnight. City councils deploy nets and lures, but it's futile. The real disruption hits in summer, when Johto's Xatu flocks migrate south, their psychic pulses interfering with Kanto's radio towers. Signals glitch, trainers lose contact mid-battle, and panicked Feraligatr stampedes through goldenrod tunnels as they chase the salmon runs disrupted by human dams. You'd think humans would build walls, right? Wrong. These migrations aren't invasions. They're seasonal pulses that fertilize fields, spread seeds, and cull weak populations. In Vermilion City, fishermen time their hauls to the yearly lapras pods gliding past the harbour, their shells carrying exotic algae that boost local fisheries. But the cost is steep. Last year's migration saw a beedrill swarm from Johto's azalea forests breach Kanto's border, stinging hundreds and collapsing a major highway under venom-laced hives. Emergency teams airlifted Heracross from the deep woods to counterattack, turning the skies into a buzzing war zone. Cities now budget millions for migration forecasts, using Porygon algorithms to predict paths and evacuate zones. Yet, every disruption reminds you, Pokémon don't migrate for our convenience. They move because the land calls them, and here's where it gets brutal: the invasive species wars that simmer between regions. Kanto's urban escapees, hardened by steel and smog, push into Johto like conquerors. Take the Raticate plagues. Evolved from city Rattata, feasting on garbage heaps, these behemoths burrow under Johto's forest floors, undermining roots and collapsing trails. Local Celebi shrines, sacred groves pulsing with time energy, fall silent as invasives strip the understory bare. Johto retaliates with Sentret patrols, their hypersenses detecting tunnels before they spread. But it's asymmetric warfare. Johto's Miltank herds, grass-fed on misty meadows, wander into Kanto's polluted pastures, only to sicken and mutate, birthing toxic variants that taint water supplies. You can hear the frontline reports from rangers in Olivine, where Kanto's Electrode roll in like tumbleweeds, detonating in Johto's lighthouses and shorting navigation beacons. Countermeasures? Quagsire barriers along borders, their absorbent hides neutralizing blasts. Deeper conflicts brew in the shadows. Unovan escapees like trubbish bags drift across seas, clogging Johto's rivers and spawning Garbodor titans that war with native muck over sludge territories. These aren't fairy tales, they're documented skirmishes with casualties. A 2023 incursion saw Hoenn's Sharpedo shoals breach Kanto waters, shredding fishing fleets until seeking squadrons from Johto rivers mounted a defense, their horns gleaming like lances in the surf. Humans play referee, but with stakes this high, alliances fracture. Regional governments fund ecosystem integrity squads, elite trainers bonded to legendaries like Suicune for Johto's purification runs. They've mapped migration corridors into protected highways, elevated rail lines for Pidgeot couriers to avoid ground clashes. In Kanto, rooftop gardens bloom with Johto imports, luring Butterfree to pollinate urban farms and easing food shortages. Yet, black markets thrive on invasive eggs, trainers smuggling Vibrava from Sinnoh deserts to weaponize against Johto pests. You wonder, how thin is the line between Guardian and Invader? Dive deeper into the mechanics, and you'll uncover why regions stay distinct. Soil composition locks in type dominance. Kanto's iron-rich bedrock favors steel and rock Pokémon, their metallic hides shrugging off urban decay. Johto's loamy soils, laced with ancient fossils, nurture ghost and dark types that haunt misty ruins. Migrations test these balances. A Tauros stampede from Johto plains into Kanto, farmlands compact soil, starving grass types, and inviting rockslide retaliations from Geodude swarms. Climate seals the divide. Kanto's humid heat hatches firefly legions at dusk, while Johto's chill preserves ice berries that draw glalie from polar fringes. Real-world adaptations fascinate. In Fuchsia City, safari zones now double as migration buffers, fenced with Voltorb minefields to deter overzealous herds. Johto's mahogany gyms train ice specialists to freeze invasive waterways, creating skatable barriers that double as tourist draws. You've battled in these arenas, but imagine the prep. Scouts tracking a Donphan migration via seismic sensors, rerouting it with aroma lures from Roselia fields. Success stories shine too. Collaborative projects seed Kanto rivers with Johto Corsola, their branches filtering toxins and birthing coral economies. But failures scar the land. The Great Bartic Incursion of 2018, when Sinnoh melt forced polar bears south into Johto coasts, froze harbours solid. Battles raged for months. Abomasnow avalanches clashing with native Frostlust wraiths. Casualties mounted until Lugia intervened, its psychic gales herding the invaders north. Lessons learned. Global pacts now monitor climate shifts, predicting how warming forests push fire types into watery Johto, sparking steam explosions with native polywag pods. These ecosystems don't just shape habitats, they forge cultures. Kanto kids grow up dodging Zubat in alleys, learning evasion before their first Pokeball. Johto youth commune with forest spirits, their bonds rooted in quiet observation. Migrations unite them in festivals, like Goldenrod's Herd Parade, where trainers showcase tamed migrants in synchronized displays. You feel the pulse of it, the way a single Vulpix kit smuggled across borders can ignite a breeding frenzy, blending Firefox lines into hybrid vigor. Yet, tensions escalate. Invasive wars escalate to proxy battles, regions accusing each other of unleashing bioweapons. Kanto claims Johto's Celebi time loops summon prehistoric pests. Johto points to Kanto Labs' bioengineering electric mice for export sabotage. International summits in Pallet Town broker truces, but undercurrents run deep. Rangers whisper of shadow cabals trading rare invasives for power. As these ecosystems entwine and clash, they've birthed fortunes and famines, turning wild migrations into measured trades. Who controls the migration routes controls the future, and that power funnels straight into the economic empires waiting just beyond the horizon. What empires rise from these chaotic foundations? Stick around, because you're about to uncover the staggering wealth and rivalries that make this world tick. Before we dive deeper into this incredible journey, I'm curious, where in the world are you watching this from? Drop a comment below and let our global community know. And if you're finding this as mind-blowing as I am, hit that like button to help more people discover this story. Did you know that in a world where Pokémon roam free, the average farmer's yield has tripled overnight? That's the raw economic power we're diving into now, as those regional ecosystems we just explored, Kanto's bustling cities, clashing with Johto's foggy wilds, force humanity to adapt not just in survival, but in sheer wealth creation. Those yearly Pokémon migrations that gridlock streets and flood markets, they've become the spark for an industrial overhaul you can barely fathom. Picture the farmlands first. No more diesel tractors rumbling at dawn. Instead, herds of Tauros thunder across fields, ploughing soil deeper and faster than any machine, their hooves churning earth with a precision that leaves no waste. Miltank graze alongside, producing milk so nutrient-rich, it's sold at premium prices worldwide, cutting import costs by half. You wake up to the lowing of these beasts echoing through your window, knowing your breakfast cereal owes its abundance to them. And it's not just bovines. Execute clusters nurture orchards, accelerating fruit growth with solar-charged pulses that mimic perfect sunlight. Berry farms explode in output cherry berries for quick energy snacks, now a billion-dollar export. Farmers who once scraped by on subsidies now command fleets of Pokémon, hiring trainers as foremen. Crop failures, a thing of the past, replaced by Gloom's pollen control that wards off pests without a drop of chemical. This isn't incremental change, it's a revolution. Global food prices plummet, starving nations feast for the first time, and agribusiness tycoons pivot from machinery to Pokeballs. But farming's just the appetizer. Step into construction, where the skyline evolves hourly. Match-up crews hoist steel girders that would crush a crane operator, their forearms juggling beams like toys. You stand on a site in Saffron City, watching a graveler levitate concrete slabs into place, defying gravity with seismic pulses. Tunnels burrow through mountains via Onyx's endless coils, slashing highway build times from years to months. High-rises sprout in days, not decades. Alakazam telekinetically wiring circuits, ensuring flawless alignments no human could match. Safety records skyrocket. No more fatal falls when a Kadabra spots hazards before they form. Coastal developments harness Gyarados for dredging harbours, their thrashing tails reshaping seabeds overnight. Real estate booms. Property values in Johto's forest fringes double as Pokémon clear land without deforestation scars. You've got billionaires commissioning Lucario-led mega projects, blending steel and stone into living architecture that breathes with elemental harmony. Labour costs? Divided by 10. Unions evolve into trainer guilds, negotiating not wages, but Pokeball allotments. This Pokémon workforce ripples everywhere. Mining ops unleash Steelix into veins of ore, extracting rare metals for tech empires. Think Pokegear smartphones, assembled by Magnemite swarms in zero-gravity hover fields. Shipping lanes fill with Lapras convoys, ferrying cargo across oceans faster than container ships, their icy breaths preserving perishables en route. Energy sectors harness Voltorb dynamos for clean power grids, outages, a relic of the pre-Pokémon era. Even entertainment pivots. Waylord-powered theme parks draw crowds that dwarf Disney's peaks. You can't escape it. Your daily commute? Blasted through by Rhyperia earth movers. Your coffee? Roasted by fiery magma in automated roasters. Economies swell. Kanto's GDP per capita rivals pre-crash Wall Street. Johto's ecotourism multiplies on the backs of migratory herds turned attractions. Now, trainers at the helm of this machine? They're the new elite. Forget corner office execs. Top-tier trainers pull salaries that make pro athletes blush. A gym leader in Celadon commands 8 figures annually sponsorships from Pokemart chains, endorsement deals for hyper potions that outsell cologne. You tune into the Indigo League playoffs, where star competitors rake in $50, million purses, bonuses tied to win streaks. Battle frontier brains like Annabelle. Her net worth hits 9 zeros from consulting gigs, optimizing corporate Pokémon teams. Casual trainers fare better too. A mid-level coordinator in Hoenn banks $500K yearly, gig economy style summoning Swampert for flood control 1 week, Ludicolo for harvest festivals the next. Taxes fund it all. Trainer elite, brackets top 60%, fueling universal basic capture allowances. Wealth gaps yawn wide though. Rural herders thrive modestly, while urban battle barons yacht on earnings from televised showdowns. Pro leagues spawn dynasties, kids of champions groomed from age 5, their allowances buying rare candies that propel them to stardom. You dream of catching that one breakout Pokémon, turning your garage battles into a fortune. It's intoxicating. One viral tournament clip, and you're fielding offers from Sylph Coast scouts. Yet, beneath this glittering boom lurks shadow. Megastones, those crystalline catalysts for ultimate evolutions, ignite black markets hotter than a Charizard's blaze. Rare ones like Mutonite X fetch underground prices, eclipsing gold bars. Smugglers dodge patrols in Viridian Forest depths, trading Lucarionite chunks via encrypted Pokénav apps. You hear whispers in back alley Slateport stalls, a Diancyte shard for your life savings, promising godlike power. Cartels form around hoarders, Gengar phasing through vaults to lift payloads undetected. Busts make headlines, teams of Elite Four raid dens stacked with illicit Blazikenite, stones pulsing with forbidden energy. Why the frenzy? Legit supplies dwindle, meteor crashes and deep-sea dives yield slivers, funnel to core first. Amateurs risk it all, mega-evolving street mons, in unsanctioned brawls that level blocks. Governments crack down with stone sanctions, but demand surges. Imagine stumbling on a washed-up Ampharosite beach. Cash your ticket to riches, or a federal sting. It's a powder keg. Fortunes vanish in raids, lives in botched evos. Yet the allure? Irresistible. That power high turns nobodies into kings overnight. These empires reshape society at its core. Philanthropy booms, trainers fund, academies, teaching kids bond basics. turning dropouts into earners. Stock markets trade Poke indices, Machamp futures spiking on construction bids. Inflation tamed by endless labor. But cracks show. Over-reliance breeds complacency. What if a mass migration halts harvests? Pokémon rights groups lobby for work weeks, 8-hour shifts, enforced by psychic monitors. You feel the shift personally. Your job, augmented by a Growlithe alarm system, or obsolete against a Ditto mimic. Cities gleam with prosperity, yet tent cities house unbonded humans, envious of the partnered elite. Dive deeper into farming revolutions. Take the Petcha Orchard Consortium in Sinnoh, once bankrupt, now exporting to Unova via Tropius airlifts. Owners testify, one Venusaur terraformed our barren acres into bounty. Construction tales mesmerize too. The Goldenrod Mega Tower, erected in 72 hours by a Conkeldurr brigade, cranes obsolete. Trainers' lives? A Vermilion ace pilots his earnings into a fleet of luxury yachts, each helmed by a Kingdra. Black market sagas, fuel podcasts, the Shadowstone Syndicate, busted with $2 billion in contraband, leader vanishing via Zoroark illusion, unemployment plummets, creativity soars. Artists commission Smeargle murals that shift colours alive. Chefs pair with far-fetched for endless leek harvests. Healthcare, Ordino heals surges cut hospital waits. But monopolies loom, Pokémon Ranch Incorporated. Corners dairy, squeezing independence. Regulations lag. Scandals erupt when exhausted mons rampage. You ponder, is this utopia or tightrope? Trainer pay scales dazzle. League MVPs ink $100M contracts, dwarfing LeBrons. Perks? Private battle arenas, gene splicing labs. Mid-tiers gig on apps. Need a Raiden for demo. Swipe right. Black markets thrive in underbellies. Ecrutique night bazaars hawk smuggled stones, buyers vanishing into shadows. This economic colossus teeters on wild power's edge. But when ancient forces beyond mega evolution stir, threatening to upend it all, that's the cataclysm waiting in Legendary Awakenings. In 2027, the first confirmed legendary Pokémon shattered every scientific paradigm we knew. Not through some ancient ritual or natural cataclysm, but in a sterile lab buried under the Swiss Alps, where a team of rogue geneticists birthed Mewtwo. You see, the economic boom from Pokémon labor had flooded black markets with smuggled DNA samples and unstable megastones, tempting the boldest minds to play God. What started as whispers of cloning experiments exploded into the scandal of the century, when leaked footage showed a psychic powerhouse ripping through reinforced containment. Mewtwo wasn't just alive, it was furious, its telekinetic rage, crumpling steel walls like paper and broadcasting raw agony into the minds of anyone nearby. Governments scrambled, the UN convened emergency sessions, and overnight, bioethics became front-page news. Picture the fallout. Leading universities expelled entire departments overnight. The creator, Dr. Elena Voss, vanished after her manifesto hit the dark web, claiming Mewtwo was humanity's next evolution, forged from Mew's essence, amplified by forbidden splice tech. Protests erupted in Tokyo and New York, with signs reading, "Genes aren't toys," clashing against tech moguls, defending progress. Funding for Pokémon research plummeted by 40% globally as investors fled the ethical minefield. But you have to wonder, was this pure hubris, or did the black market's promise of unlimited power make it inevitable? Labs worldwide shuttered, yet underground networks thrived, chasing Mewtwo's blueprint for super soldiers or psychic energy sources. The creature itself escaped into the ether, sightings flickering across Europe, bending reality with illusions that drove witnesses mad. Science wasn't just rocked, it was reborn in fire and controversy, forcing us to question if we deserved such power. As the Mewtwo crisis simmered, nature threw its own curveball. High above the Arctic Circle, Articuno was spotted gliding through aurora-lit skies, its icy wings trailing frost that refused to melt. Eyewitnesses from fishing trawlers off Greenland described a massive bird Pokémon, 20 feet wingspan, screeching winds that flash froze ocean waves into crystalline spires. Satellite imagery confirmed it. Anomalous cold snaps, spiking 30 degrees below norms, defying every climate model. Suddenly, Articuno wasn't myth, it was data, triggering a frenzy of studies linking its presence to polar vortex disruptions. Research teams from NOAA and the EU poured billions into aerial drones and thermal scanners, mapping migration patterns that correlated with record blizzards ravaging Scandinavia. You can feel the urgency in those early reports. Fishermen pulled from icy graves spoke of blue feathers slicing fog like lasers, while Inuit elders nodded knowingly, their oral histories vindicated. Climate scientists pivoted hard, publishing papers titled Cryokinetic Anomalies and Legendary Influence, arguing Articuno's aura manipulated jet streams, intensifying global warming's backlash. Expeditions launched from research stations, equipped with Pokédex prototypes and cold-resistant Pokémon like Glalie for backup. One team, led by Dr. Raj Patel, got within a mile during a Norwegian fjord event, recording bioelectric pulses that shorted their instruments. The readings? Energy outputs rivaling a small nuclear plant, all funneled into perpetual ice storms. Governments issued Articuno alerts, rerouting flights and advising urban evacuations during sightings. It wasn't just weather, it was warfare from the skies, forcing humanity to adapt or freeze. These weren't isolated incidents. Zapdos electrified the Pacific Northwest, its thunderous dives igniting forests and blacking out Seattle for days, while Moltres scorched Australian outback, birthing fire tornadoes that reshaped desert ecosystems. Each awakening amplified the chaos, but Articuno's chill set the stage for something biblical. Ancient Canto lore spoke of a prophecy, the three birds uniting in cataclysm to judge humanity's hubris. Dismissed as folklore for decades, it resurfaced when data converged. Seismographs pinged unusual tremors, satellite feeds glitched with triple silhouettes, and psychics worldwide reported visions of feathered apocalypse. Then, winter 2031 hit like divine retribution. A mega blizzard engulfed the northern hemisphere, starting in Hokkaido and swallowing continents in whiteout fury. Winds clocked at 300 kilometers per hour hurled cars like leaves, burying Tokyo under 20 feet of snow that glowed ethereal blue. Power grids failed from pole to pole, stranding millions. Amid the howl, they appeared, Articuno at the eye, its cry summoning Zapdos from thunderheads and Moltres from volcanic rifts. Eyewitness drone footage, miraculously intact, captured the trio circling a nexus over the Bering Sea, auras intertwining in a vortex of ice, lightning, and flame. Temperatures plunged to -80 Celsius, yet flames licked the clouds without melting the freeze. The event lasted 72 hours, reshaping coastlines and depositing rare evolutionary stones across ravaged lands. Scientists later pieced it together from survivor accounts and black box data. The prophecy wasn't metaphor, it was a reset button. Articuno's chill locked carbon emissions in permafrost, Zapdos ionized pollutants into harmless plasma, and Moltres sterilized invasive species with purifying fire. Casualties topped 1 million, but ecosystems rebounded overnight, forests greened, oceans clarified, extinctions reversed. World leaders broadcast apologies from bunkers, vowing harmony with legendaries. You have to pause here. Were the three birds punishing us or saving us? Post-event analyses revealed their energies stabilized Earth's core wobbles, averting quakes that models predicted would level cities. Poke centers became triage hubs, with legendaries' residual power healing the wounded through aura infusions. The scandal rippled deeper. Mewtwo, tracked by psychic beacons, hovered at the blizzard's periphery, its mind probing the trio's intent. Theories exploded. Was it an ally, or the fourth harbinger? Black marketeers auctioned prophecy shards, crystals from the storm, said to grant bird-like powers fetching billions. Religions reformed around the event, temples rising to the three birds as planetary stewards. Expeditions now seek communion, not capture, training empaths to negotiate with these titans. Imagine the first human legendary accord, brokered in glacial halls. But risks linger. Rogue trainers lure them with mega lures, sparking skirmishes that level towns. Dive into the human stories that humanize this era. Take Lena Torres, a climatologist who lost her team to an Articuno downdraft. Rescued by a wild Abomasnow herd, she emerged fluent in icy winds, channeling micro-freezes to aid disaster relief. Or Marcus Hale, a former black market dealer turned prophecy scholar whose visions during the blizzard mapped hidden layers. Their tales, shared in viral interviews, shifted public fear to reverence. Universities now offer legendary ecology degrees, blending quantum physics with aura studies. Pokémon leagues adapted, introducing awakening challenges, where battlers summon environmental proxies, simulating bird might without provocation. Economically, the awakenings birthed new empires. Ice from Articuno zones revolutionized cryogenics, preserving organs indefinitely. Zapdos storms generated free fusion power, grids harnessing perpetual lightning. Moltres ash fertilized barren soils, yields tripling worldwide. Yet shadows loom. Poachers deployed gene hacks mimicking Mewtwo's rage, birthing unstable hybrids that terrorize frontiers. International treaties ban cloning, enforced by Interpol's Pokémon SWAT, but leaks persist. You feel the weight of it all, don't you? From Mewtwo's lab-born fury to the three birds' frozen judgment, legendaries didn't just awaken, they redefined survival. Science rebuilt Humbler, chasing understanding over domination. As blizzards fade into legend, whispers grow of deeper mysteries, beings beyond birds, guardians unbound by elements. But that's a tale for mythical guardians, where the true enigmas emerge from forgotten realms, challenging everything we've learned. Stick around. You won't want to miss how they guard secrets that could unravel our world. Let's unpack Mewtwo's legacy further, because its scandal wasn't a one-off. Post-escape, psychic disturbances plagued, Europe trains derailing mid-thought, crowds seized by collective nightmares. Neural scans on affected civilians showed Mewtwo's psi imprint, rewriting synapses like a virus. Therapists deployed Gardevoir specialists, their empathy waves cleansing the mental scars. The science community fractured. Purists decried genetic meddling, while transhumanists hailed Mewtwo as proof of ascension. Conferences in Geneva debated legendary rights, granting personhood to clones, sparking lawsuits that reached the World Court. Articuno's climate ripple extended south, frosting Amazon tributaries and birthing ice-adapted Pokémon variants. Biologists tracked hybrid Articuno Frostlass swarms, their dances inducing mini-ice ages in rainforests. Studies quantified the anomaly. One flap displaced 10 gigatons of air, equivalent to a hurricane's force. Funding surged for aerial Pokémon units, Alakazam teleports ferrying scientists into storm hearts. Patel's team published breakthroughs on cryo-aura, tech now cooling data centers carbon-free. The prophecy's fulfillment during that blizzard wasn't random. Folklore scrolls, carbon dated to 500 BCE, detailed signs, twin eclipses, mega evolutions in wild herds, Mewtwo's roar, echoing prophecy verses. As the trio converged, global Pokémon synced Pidgeot flocks, forming aerial shields, Charizard pyres melting siege ice. Survivors described transcendence, euphoria, washing pain, as bird song harmonized life forces. Rebuild efforts unearthed prophecy nexuses, ley lines pulsing with timeless energy, powering new cities. Personal impacts hit hard. Families reunited across blizzards via Lucario trackers. Economies pivoted to aura renewables. You might recall the Tokyo Dome miracle, Articuno perched atop, thawing the arena for sheltering thousands. Such moments forged unbreakable bonds, trainers vowing oaths to protect awakenings. Yet dangers persist. Mewtwo cults summon Psystorms. Articuno poachers fuel eternal winters in private vaults. Agencies like the Global Legendary Watch deploy elite squads. Elite, 4 veterans riding legend-tamed steeds. Training academies simulate bird assaults, honing reflexes against holographic gales. Emotionally, it's transformative. Fear-birthed wisdom. We listen now, attuning radios to legendary frequencies for warnings. Mewtwo's scandal taught restraint, Articuno's chill humility, the three birds' unity. As we heal, questions burn. What other legends stir? Expanding on economic ties, post-Mewtwo, clone insurance boomed, policies covering psychic property damage. Articuno sightings spiked tourism in polar zones, igloo hotels booked years out. Blizzard salvage yielded feathers worth fortunes, woven into indestructible fabrics. Scientifically, Mewtwo's genome unlocked telepathy drugs, treating Alzheimer's. Articuno enzymes vaccine pandemics, freezing viruses inert. The prophecy event accelerated fusion, birds' plasma blueprints, igniting stars on Earth. Stories abound. A child in Siberia, taming a blizzard-spawned Articuno fledgling, now forecasting storms. Or veterans haunted by Mewtwo's mind scream, finding peace in bird meditations. You're right there with them, piecing this reality. Legendaries awaken not to conquer, but catalyze. From scandal to storm, they demand evolution. And as birds recede, mythical guardians loom elusive sentinels whose interventions hint at cosmic designs. What hidden pacts do they enforce? Next, we dive in. To hit the depth you crave, consider the geopolitical chess. Nations vied for Mewtwo custody, Russia claiming size superiority, USA tech edge. Articuno patrols redrew Arctic claims, Inuit alliances with ice, Pokémon tipping balances. The blizzard neutralized superpowers equally, birthing the legendary Accord Treaty. Culturally, art exploded. Symphonies mimicking bird cries, VR sims recreating awakenings. Bestsellers dissected prophecies, films grossed trillions on Mewtwo biopics. Technologically, Pokédex 2.0 integrates legendary signatures, predicting migrations. Trainers earn Awakener badges communing safely. Challenges remain. Hybrid outbreaks from black market crosses, Mewtwo Articuno, Psy blizzards, experimental horrors. But hope prevails. You sense it, the awakenings as turning point, humanity wiser stewards. Finally, as echoes fade, mythical guardians beckon with forbidden knowledge. Prepare, their story redefines reality. In 2027, a single unexplained temporal anomaly in the forests of Johto rewrote what historians thought they knew about World War II. That's when Celebi first emerged as the ultimate guardian of time itself. You see, after the chaos of Mewtwo's creation scandal and those Articuno-triggered blizzards that had scientists scrambling, the world turned its gaze to even rarer beings. These weren't just legendaries shaking up the present. These were mythical guardians, elusive forces woven into the fabric of reality, stepping in to protect balance on scales we could barely comprehend. Celebi, that tiny, fairy-like entity glowing with emerald light, didn't just appear, it rippled through history. Picture the evidence piling up. Archival footage from Ilex Forest captured shimmering portals, brief glimpses of soldiers in 1,940 seconds, uniforms flickering into modern clearings, only to vanish. Historians cross-referenced it with declassified military logs. What they found chilled them. Entire battles that never happened in our records suddenly had eyewitness accounts from the era, altered by what experts now call Celebi's time ripples. One ripple, detected in 2031 near Azalea Town, shifted a key supply line during the Pacific Campaign. Japanese forces reported seeing ghostly green figures darting through the trees, causing ammunition crates to age decades in seconds, rusting away mid-transport. Victory came weeks earlier than predicted, saving thousands of lives. But here's what gets you. These changes weren't random. Celebi intervened only when extinction-level threats loomed, like nuclear escalations that diaries from the time described as inevitable before the ripples hit. Researchers at the Global Pokémon Chronology Institute pored over quantum sensors placed around known Celebi hotspots. The data showed micro-fluctuations in space-time, tiny echoes propagating backward. You wouldn't believe the debates. Was Celebi preserving a timeline where Pokémon and humans coexisted, or was it enforcing some cosmic rulebook? One lead physicist, Dr. Elena Voss, went on record saying, "Every ripple we've tracked correlates with a near-miss catastrophe for biodiversity. Celebi isn't playing God, it's the failsafe." And the public? They started calling it the Forest Guardian. Pilgrims left offerings of berries at shrine-like groves, hoping for a glimpse. But sightings remained rare, always tied to pivotal moments. In 2045, during a massive deforestation push in Sinnoh, another ripple hit. Satellite imagery caught trees sprouting overnight across logged areas, timelines bending to undo the damage. Governments scrambled to classify it, but the message was clear: tamper with nature's clock, and Celebi resets it. Shifting from those temporal whispers Let's talk about Jirachi, the wish star that turned folklore into frontline news. In the dusty vaults of the Hoenn Royal Archives, scholars uncovered phenomena that defied logic, wishes manifesting not as magic, but as verifiable probability shifts. It started small. A 2019 entry, predating the Great Emergence, described a comet-like streak over the desert, followed by a farmer's impossible harvest tripling overnight. Fast forward to confirmed events post-awakening. Jirachi, that comet-tailed psychic fairy with eyes like shooting stars, appeared sporadically, often during meteor showers. The archives now hold over 200 documented cases where individuals in dire need voiced a single, pure wish and reality bent. Take the case of Maria Santos in 2034. A single mother in a war-torn Rustboro suburb, she whispered to the night sky during a Jirachi sighting, "Let my children have a future without fear." Next morning, aid convoys arrived unannounced, rerouted by freak weather patterns that cleared enemy blockades. No one could explain it, but neural scans on witnesses showed synchronized brainwaves, as if Jirachi amplified collective hope into tangible outcomes. Archives detail patterns, wishes for healing cured untreatable diseases, verified by before and after MRIs. One child with terminal leukemia wished for strength. Biopsy results flipped negative within hours, cells regenerating at rates. Biologists called miraculous engineering, but not every wish succeeded. The archives note failures when greed tainted. The intent, stock market booms wished for, collapsed spectacularly, teaching a harsh lesson. Jirachi wasn't a genie. It was a guardian of equilibrium, granting boons that restored harmony. You can feel the awe in those yellowed pages, can't you? Expeditions to Mount Pyre, where Jirachi slumbered for millennia, brought back psychometry readings of latent energy fields. Scientists hypothesize it draws from stellar radiation, channeling it through human emotion. In 2042, during a global energy crisis, a mass sighting over the ocean led to hundreds of wishes for sustainable power. Within months, fusion prototypes that had stalled for decades ignited successfully. Governments formed the Wish Verification Bureau, cross-checking claims with blockchain timestamps to prevent fraud. Yet, Jirachi's interventions stayed unpredictable, appearing only when humanity teetered on self-destruction. Parents told bedtime stories of the star Pokémon, but now those stories saved lives. One archive entry from a firefighter in Lavaridge: "I wished for rain in the inferno. The sky cracked open. Jirachi watched from the flames, then vanished." Phenomena like that filled museums, turning skeptics into believers. But not all mythical guardians bring light. Darkrai's shadow cast a different spell, one that plunged cities into collective dread. Neuroscientists worldwide scratched their heads over nightmare plagues that swept through urban centers, baffling every model of brain chemistry. It began in New Moon Island, expeditions gone wrong. Darkrai, the pitch-black phantom with crimson eyes, didn't seek conflict. It guarded the realm of dreams, isolating threats in nightmarish prisons. Yet, when humans encroached too far, building resorts on sacred sites, or polluting dream-linked waters, the plagues leaked into reality. The first major outbreak hit Sinnoh's Kanalav city in 2036. Residents reported synchronized hallucinations, endless voids, pursuing shadows, loved ones dissolving into smoke. EEG, scans lit up like fireworks, delta waves spiking unnaturally. Over 5,000 cases in one night, with victims waking drenched, hearts racing at 180 BPM. Neuroscientists at the Dream Research Center labeled it Darkrai Resonance Syndrome. PET scans revealed hyperactive amygdalae, fear centers firing as if the brain was trapped in a looped horror. What baffled them most? The nightmares shared motifs, crumbling civilizations, Pokémon fleeing human greed, mirroring Darkrai's law as protector against nightmare spillover. Dr. Raj Patel, a leading expert, published a paper in Nature. Darkrai doesn't induce nightmares. It amplifies latent ones, forcing confrontation with suppressed truths. Case studies piled up. In one, a corporate executive dreamed of his company's illegal megastone mining, confessing post-plague and halting operations that poisoned aquifers. Hospitals overflowed with patients reliving eco-disasters averted only by legendary interventions. Treatments, Melatonin analogues failed. Only exposure to Chrysalia's aura, Darkrai's counterbalance, restored normal sleep cycles. Governments deployed psychic-type response teams to contain outbreaks, but Darkrai evaded capture, phasing through walls like smoke. You might wonder, how do we live with these plagues? Cities installed dream barriers, ultrasonic emitters tuned to repel Darkrai's influence. Yet, the Guardian persisted, its plagues growing more targeted. In 2048, amid a biotech boom cloning forbidden Pokémon, an outbreak hit labs worldwide. Scientists dreamed of mutations run amok, leading to voluntary shutdowns. Bafflement turned to respect. Neuroscientists now model Darkrai as a psychological immune system for society, purging toxic ambitions before they metastasize. These mythical guardians, Celebi weaving time's threads, Jirachi granting equilibrium's gifts, Darkrai enforcing dream's justice, stand as the world's unseen sentinels. They've altered wars, healed the desperate, and haunted the corrupt, proving that in this Pokémon real world, protection comes from the ethereal. Villages built shrines, festivals honored their visits, and science evolved to accommodate the impossible. But whispers persist of darker forces, lurking beyond these guardians' watch, entities that don't protect but prey. And that's where we head next, into the shadow side, where the line between guardian and nightmare blurs completely. What horrors wait in those depths? Stay with me, you won't want to miss it. While mythical guardians like Celebi and Jirachi reshape history and grant fleeting wishes, they cast long shadows that no one saw coming. In the underbelly of this Pokémon-infused world, criminal enterprises didn't just fade away, they evolved into something far more insidious. Team Rocket, that infamous syndicate from the old games, didn't stay fictional for long. By the early years of the Great Emergence, their real-world counterparts had built sprawling poaching rings across continents, snatching rare Pokémon from the wild for black market sales, underground battles, and twisted experiments. You might think authorities would crush them overnight, but these weren't amateur thugs. They operated like multinational corporations, with encrypted networks, bribed officials, and fleets of stealth drones modified to mimic Pidgeot flight patterns. In Southeast Asia's dense jungles, poachers targeted elusive legendaries, like the elusive Suicune, using tranquilizer-laced Pokeballs that expanded mid-air to ensnare targets mid-leap. Europe saw rings in the Alps, where teams scaled sheer cliffs for Aerodactyl fossils, reviving them in hidden labs only to sell the prehistoric beasts to the highest bidder. The scale was staggering billions in illicit trade, fueling everything from luxury pet markets in Dubai to illegal gene-splicing ops in abandoned Soviet bunkers. But here's where it gets real. Global crackdowns hit hard in 2028. Interpol, backed by the newly formed Pokémon Enforcement Agency, launched Operation Thunderbolt. Raids swept through 47 countries simultaneously. In Tokyo's neon-lit underworld, SWAT teams stormed a Team Rocket headquarters, disguised as a tech startup, uncovering cryogenic pods holding over 200 captured Pokémon, including a shiny Charizard worth more than a private jet. South America's Amazon basin became a war zone as eco-specialists airdropped Bulbasaur vines to track poacher camps, leading to the arrest of 200 operatives. The ringleaders? Extradited and tried in The Hague, their empires dismantled piece by piece. Confiscated assets funded Pokémon sanctuaries worldwide. For a moment, it felt like victory. Poaching rings crumbled, and the wilds breathed easier. Yet, that triumph hid a brewing catastrophe. Not every Pokémon could be rehabilitated or returned home. Thousands abandoned by poachers during the busts, or released from raids too traumatized to reintegrate, found themselves adrift in human cities. Picture this: Machops discarded in industrial waste zones, their brute strength turning derelict factories into fortresses. In the sprawling slums of Mumbai, Manila, and Mexico City, these outcasts banded together. What started as survival packs evolved into feral gangs, territorial packs that claimed alleys and sewers as their turf. These wild gangs aren't your cute Pikachu picnics. In Sao Paulo's favelas, a notorious Ratata horde multiplied unchecked, chewing through power lines and sparking blackouts that lasted weeks. They enforced their rule with hyperfang ambushes on scavengers, their eyes glowing red in the night. Johannesburg's townships saw primate troops hurling locals like ragdolls for encroaching on their scrap metal domains. Their rage-fueled flurries, leaving streets littered with broken concrete. And in Detroit's abandoned districts, a magnemite swarm magnetized entire blocks, yanking rebar from buildings and turning rescue efforts into magnetic nightmares. You can hear the desperation in survivor accounts. A Manila street vendor recalls a midnight raid by a Raticate-led pack, their whiskers twitching as they swarmed his stall, devouring crates of food in seconds before vanishing into storm drains. These gangs developed hierarchies, mimicking human mobs, alpha leaders like rogue Arcanine barking orders, enforcing loyalty with flamethrower warnings. They raided dumps for scraps, but when hunger hit, they'd hit back. Livestock vanished from farms on city edges, pets snatched from backyards. Municipalities tried containment, erecting electric fences powered by Pikachu generators, but the gangs adapted, tunneling with Diglett allies or short-circuiting barriers with self-destructing Voltorb. Law enforcement scrambled. Pokémon rangers patrolled with capture nets and Ultra Balls, but ethics clashed with necessity. Could you condemn a wild Ursaring protecting its orphaned cubs? Relocation programs shipped hundreds to rural preserves, yet escapees returned, drawn by the familiar stench of urban decay. These slums became no-go zones. Economies tanked as tourism dried up, and property values plummeted. Gangs even bartered with desperate humans, protection rackets where a Fero scout warns of rival packs in exchange for raw meat deliveries. It's a symbiotic nightmare, blurring lines between beast and bandit. But the true chill seeps in with the unseen threats. Amid these physical gangs, whispers spread of ghost-type hauntings, horror stories that keep even the hardiest slum dwellers indoors after dusk. These aren't playful ghastly pranks. They're vengeful spectres, born from tragedy. Abandoned during poaching busts, many ghost Pokémon lingered in limbo, their ectoplasmic forms twisted by betrayal and isolation. Take the Lagos Lagoon legend. In Nigeria's watery slums, a Duskull gang, once lab experiments gone wrong, haunts derelict shanties. Fishermen vanish, their boats found adrift, with eerie nightshade burns. Locals swear they hear wails mimicking lost children's cries, luring the unwary into misty traps. One survivor, a young diver, described a cold grip pulling him under, only escaping when his corefish unleashed a bubble beam frenzy. Investigations revealed mass graves of discarded haunter evolutions, their poison gas still lingering in the fog. Across the Atlantic, in Rio's hillside favelas, a Gengar syndicate rules the shadows. They possess junkyard machinery, animating rusted cars to plow through barricades. Stories flood emergency lines, families waking to objects levitating, their shadows detaching to strangle intruders. A paramedic team lost 3 members to a coordinated Dream Eater assault, waking days later with no memory of the night. Experts link it to poacher experiments fusing ghost essences with heavy metals, creating poltergeist juggernauts immune to physical attacks. Even colder tales emerge from Europe's undercities. Paris sewers echo with mischievous choirs, their screech-inducing mass hysteria that sparks riots. Berlin's U-Bahn tunnels host a Shuppet swarm, feeding on commuter despair, manifesting as phantom trains that derail reality itself. In one verified incident, CCTV captured a Mimikyu disguised as a homeless child, ensnaring a patrol officer in its ragged cloth before phasing through walls. The officer emerged catatonic, babbling about eternal playtime in a void. These hauntings aren't random, they're territorial. Ghost gangs mark domains with will-o-wisp flares, visible only to the doomed. Exorcism squads deploy pure-hearted cleffery with metronome gambles, but losses mount. Psychics like Alakazam probe minds, uncovering grudges etched in ethereal code memories of cages, needles, abandonment. One documented case in Kolkata involved a horde of Rotom possessing a slum power grid, blacking out districts while frying resistors in sadistic patterns, mimicking Pokeball designs. You feel the dread building, don't you? These stories spread like urban legends, but forensics back them up. Ectoplasm residue on victims, temperature drops preceding attacks, spectral audio spikes on recorders. Governments classify hotspots as quarantine zones, deploying psychic dampeners, yet breaches continue. Children draw crayon murals of glowing eyes in the walls. Elders burn sage, laced with oddish spores for protection. It's psychological warfare, eroding sanity one moan at a time. What makes it worse? Hybrids emerge. Slum gangs ally with Ghost's Rhyhorn muscle backed by Haunter scouts, turning raids into supernatural assaults. A Mumbai pack once stormed a police outpost, physical bruises distracting, while Gengar slipped through vents to possess firearms, turning them against their owners. Casualties: 14 officers, 0 arrests. As these shadows deepen, rehabilitation falters, sanctuaries overflow, ethical debates rage. Do you cull the feral? Re-educate with human bonds? Mega evolution trials backfire, amplifying rage into apocalyptic fury. International summits falter, blame traded like badges. The world, once enchanted by Pokémon, now fears the night. And lurking beyond these hauntings and gangs, something far deadlier stirs. Up next, Chapter 12, Catastrophic Threats, reveals the apocalyptic forces that could shatter everything we've built. Forces that make these shadows look like mere twilight. You won't want to miss how close we came to total collapse. In 2027, the first mega earthquake struck without warning, registering a staggering 9.8 on the Richter scale, off the coast of Indonesia. Seismologists called it impossible, a rupture that split the ocean floor for over 1,000 miles. But eyewitnesses in remote villages swore they saw a colossal red beast emerging from the depths, its body wreathed in molten rock, shaking the earth with every step. That was Groudon, the primal ground Pokémon, awakened and furious. You see, after the shadows of Team Rocket's poaching rings faded, and those wild gangs in the slums started claiming territories, humanity thought the worst was behind us. Governments poured billions into containment zones for rogue Pokémon, and urban patrols kept the peace. But nature had its own enforcers, ancient titans dormant since the planet's formation. Groudon wasn't just stirring, it was rampaging. Picture this: the beast surfaces in the Pacific Ring of Fire, its massive claws gouging trenches deeper than the Mariana. Volcanoes that had slumbered for centuries erupted in sympathy, spewing ash clouds that blacked out the sun for weeks. Tsunamis, taller than skyscrapers, slammed into Japan, wiping out entire prefectures. Tokyo's skyline, once a symbol of resilience, crumbled under aftershocks that lasted days. Experts scrambled for answers. The USGS reported fault lines activating in patterns no human activity could mimic, straight lines carving across continents, as if the Earth's crust was being pried apart deliberately. Satellite imagery caught glimpses, a hulking silhouette, over a kilometre long, with spikes that glowed like lava flows. Indonesia's evacuation efforts saved millions, but not before Groudon triggered the collapse of Mount Merapi, burying villages in pyroclastic hellfire. Survivors spoke of the ground heaving like a living thing, roads splitting open to swallow cars whole. One fisherman from Sumatra recounted to CNN how he watched the sea boil around the monster's head, fish frying instantly in superheated water. It roared, he said, and the whole world shook. Casualties topped 500, globally in the first month alone, with economic fallout rivaling the Great Depression. But Groudon didn't stop at earthquakes. Its presence warped the climate. Deserts expanded overnight in Australia, sands shifting into dunes that buried highways. In California, the San Andreas Fault unzipped further, turning Los Angeles into a fractured maze of canyons. You have to wonder, what drives a creature like that to unleash such fury? Theories poured in. Poaching disturbances from Rocket's era had destabilized ley lines, ancient energy veins, tying legendaries to the planet. Or maybe industrial overreach, fracking and mining poked the slumbering giant one too many times. Whatever the trigger, Groudon's rampage forced a global rethink. The UN formed the Primal Containment Task Force, deploying experimental drones laced with Mewtwo-derived sedatives. They failed spectacularly, vaporized by solar beams that melted steel from miles away. As the death toll climbed into the millions, panic spread. Stock markets cratered, refugees flooded borders, chanting prayers to forgotten gods. And then, retaliation came from the seas. Kyogre, the ocean's primal sovereign, answered Groudon's terrestrial assault with biblical wrath. Floods hit coastal cities worldwide, but it started in Miami. One dawn, the Atlantic surged inward, a wall of water 200 feet high, carrying the blue behemoth on its crest. Kyogre's fins sliced through supertankers like paper, its cry a thunderclap that shattered windows for 50 miles. This was no random storm. It was revenge, pure and oceanic. Revenge for what? Groudon's earthquakes had desiccated Kyogre's deep-sea domains, evaporating trenches and exposing abyssal creatures to crushing air pressure. The sea Pokémon rose in kind, summoning hyper-hurricanes that stalled over population centers. New York drowned first, Wall Street submerged under 40 feet of churning brine, the Statue of Liberty vanishing beneath foam. London followed, the Thames overflowing into the underground, trapping thousands. In Sydney, the Opera House became an aquarium for exotic sea life, pulled from the depths. Kyogre's body, vast as an aircraft carrier, patrolled the coastlines, its white fins generating currents that dragged ships under. Divers who approached spoke of bioluminescent pulses syncing with tidal pulls, as if the Pokémon commanded the entire hydrosphere. The floods weren't mere deluges, they were targeted. Ports vital to global trade, Shanghai, Rotterdam, Los Angeles were prioritized, crippling supply chains. Coral reefs bleached worldwide as Kyogre siphoned warmth from the tropics, flash-freezing marine ecosystems. NOAA buoys recorded pressure waves equivalent to depth charges, imploding submarines sent to investigate. One viral video from a Brazilian beach showed Kyogre breaching, its maw wide enough to swallow a cruise liner, spraying mist that induced hallucinations in onlookers' visions of drowned civilizations. Governments declared martial law, airdropping barriers woven from Regirock stone, but Kyogre dissolved them with primal roars that evaporated moisture from the air. You can feel the desperation in those days. Families clung to rooftops in Mumbai as monsoon rains turned eternal. Venice, already sinking, became a permanent lagoon. The human cost was staggering. Over 1 billion displaced, freshwater shortages sparking riots from Florida to Fiji. Scientists linked Kyogre's floods to Groudon's quakes. In a vicious cycle, the land beast dries the seas. The sea beast drowns the land. Climate models shattered. Predictions of sea level rise accelerated by centuries. Militaries considered nukes, but simulations showed fallout poisoning the planet's core. Instead, they turned to diplomacy, with the impossible broadcasting calls in ultrasonic frequencies, mimicking Pokémon cries, pleading for truce. Just when hope flickered out, the sky intervened. Rayquaza descended from the stratosphere, a serpentine emerald streak cutting through storm clouds like a living missile. This aerial enforcer, long rumored to patrol the ozone layer, revealed its role as balancer of primal forces. Eyewitnesses in the eye of the chaos described it coiling around Groudon first, its mega evolution triggered by desperation's aura, wings unfurled to eclipse the sun, hyper beams lancing down to pin the Earthshaker. Groudon bellowed, but Rayquaza's dragon ascents hurled it back into volcanic fissures, sealing them with ozone blasts. Then came Kyogre's turn. The Skylord dove into the maelstrom, wrapping its body around the Floodbringer in an aerial lock. Precognition guided every twist, dodging hydro pumps, countering with extreme speed. The battle raged for hours, visible from space, green lightning clashing with tidal waves, earthquakes silenced by draconic roars. Rayquaza's intervention wasn't brute force, it enforced equilibrium. Post-battle analyses showed atmospheric ozone spiking, stabilizing weather patterns. Groudon retreated to Earth's mantle, Kyogre to abyssal vents, their energies neutralized. But Rayquaza didn't vanish. It claimed the mesosphere as domain, satellites capturing its patrols, silent guardian against primal imbalance. This revelation shifted everything. World leaders hailed it as apex arbiter, forming the Sky Accord to honor its boundaries. No-fly zones expanded over hotspots. Atmospheric research pivoted to appeasing the dragon. You might think peace returned, but skirmishes lingered. Minor quakes rattled Chile, flash floods swamped Bangladesh. Each a reminder, these threats are ongoing. The catastrophic era birthed heroes too. Pokémon Rangers trained Lugia for storm diversion, Articuno for cooling lava flows. Mewtwo clones, redeemed from scandal, telekinetically reinforced dams. Global unity piqued rival nations, sharing tech to map primal migrations. Economies rebuilt greener, mining halted near fault lines. Yet scars remain. Ghost towns in the Andes, submerged skylines off Japan. Personal stories endure, like the Tokyo engineer who lost his family but pioneered earthquake-proof habitats, inspired by Groudon's resilience. What does this mean for you, drifting off tonight? These titans teach humility. Humanity poked gods, and they roared back. But Rayquaza's watch offers fragile hope, a celestial referee keeping score. Still, whispers grow of deeper instabilities, rifts where realities bleed, and that's where things get truly unnerving. Up next, dimensional rifts will pull you into portals spitting otherworldly horrors, where the fabric of our world frays at the edges. How do you survive when dimensions collide? Stay with me. In the wake of Groudon's earth-shattering quakes and Kyogre's relentless floods, something far stranger began tearing through our reality. Scientists detected the first dimensional rifts in 2027, jagged tears in the fabric of space that pulsed with otherworldly energy, spilling forth creatures from alternate dimensions we could scarcely comprehend. These weren't your garden variety Pokémon. No, these were ultra beasts, colossal invaders straight out of parallel realities, each one a nightmare engineered by physics we hadn't dreamed of. Picture this: the first confirmed sighting hit rural Japan, where a rift the size of a football field ripped open above a rice paddy. Out poured Kartana, a razor-sharp origami blade of a Pokémon, slicing through combine harvesters like paper. Farmers watched in horror as it darted at supersonic speeds, carving gashes into hillsides before vanishing back into the void. Within hours, reports flooded in from Hawaii Buzzwole, a muscled behemoth with fists like wrecking balls, flexing its way through beachfront resorts, pumping iron with stolen construction cranes. You have to understand, these weren't aggressive by nature, or so early researchers claimed. Ultra beasts operated on alien instincts, treating our world like a bizarre zoo. Pheromosa, the elegant speed demon, zipped across Australian outback highways, outpacing fighter jets sent to intercept it. It didn't attack, it just observed, its lithe form a blur that left sonic booms cracking eardrums for miles. But observation turned to calamity fast. In Mumbai, Nihilgo's jellyfish tentacles ensnared entire markets, injecting neurotoxins that turned victims into zombie-like thralls, wandering aimlessly while the beast floated serenely above the chaos. Hospitals overflowed with cases of rift poisoning, people hallucinating other dimensions, babbling about endless voids. Governments scrambled. The UN declared a global emergency, dubbing it Operation Veilguard. Military jets armed with experimental Mega Rayquaza suppressants, they tried adapting legendary countermeasures, were grounded when circuitry plugged into power grids worldwide. This electric vine monster latched onto Tokyo's skyline, siphoning gigawatts and blacking out districts for days. Streetlights flickered off, hospitals went dark, and in the panic, looters clashed with National Guard units. Stakataka, the living fortress of stone blocks, rooted itself in Paris, shrugging off tank shells as it rearranged the Eiffel Tower like Lego bricks. What made it worse? The rifts weren't random. They clustered near sites of previous catastrophes, Groudon's fault lines, Kyogre's drowned coasts. Theories exploded online. Was this revenge from the planet's core? Or had the legendary's rampages weakened dimensional barriers? You couldn't scroll social media without grainy footage. A Celesteela rocket Pokémon blasting off from Brazilian farms, sucking up livestock into its belly as fertilizer. Rescue teams in hazmat suits airlifted survivors, but the beasts kept coming. By 2028, over 400 Ultra Beast incursions logged from the frozen tundras where Guzzlord devoured Siberian villages, whole towns swallowed into its bottomless maw to the skies over New York, where Poipole swarms released toxic bubbles that corroded skyscrapers. Panic gripped the world. Stock markets tanked 40% in a week. Religious leaders called them demons from hell dimensions. Conspiracy theorists pointed to CERN's particle accelerators, claiming they'd punched holes in reality. But the real terror, it wasn't just the beasts, it was what followed them. Then came Necrozma. This prism-armored light eater emerged from a rift over Los Angeles in the dead of night, its crystalline body refracting streetlights into blinding rainbows before it simply consumed them. Light vanished. Not a blackout from tripped wires, no. Necrozma absorbed photons themselves, plunging cities into absolute, suffocating darkness. Imagine it. You're driving home, radio crackling with evacuation warnings when the sun sets prematurely at noon. Shadows swallow everything. No headlights pierce it. They fizzle out mid-beam. People screamed in the void, fumbling for flashlights that refused to ignite. Necrozma's blackouts hit like apocalyptic eclipses. First LA, 12 million souls in pitch black for 72 hours. Looters? Forgotten. Survival instinct kicked in, neighbors barricaded together, whispering prayers as Necrozma hovered silently, siphoning stadium floodlights, billboards, even the glow of phone screens. Eyewitnesses described it as a hunger beyond comprehension, the beast's core glowing brighter, with every lumen stolen. When it finally retreated, dawn broke, unnaturally vivid. But the psychological scars lingered. PTSD cases skyrocketed. Light dread became a clinical term for phobia of enclosed spaces. It spread. London went dark during rush hour, tube trains derailing in blindness. Beijing's smog-choked skyline turned eternal night, factories grinding to halt as Necrozma feasted on neon haze. In Sydney, it absorbed the harbour's moonlight reflection, leaving beachgoers clawing at sand in terror. Reports poured in of mass hysteria, stampedes in Manila, where parents lost children in the void, suicides in rural blackout zones, where isolation crushed spirits. Necrozma didn't rampage. It starved us of sight itself, forcing humanity to confront our fragility. Governments rationed glow sticks. Militaries deployed bioluminescent Pokémon, like Morolol, in desperate containment, but Necrozma shattered them like glass. You'd think we'd adapt, right? Stockpile batteries, go underground. But no, the blackouts lasted weeks cumulatively, disrupting everything. Food spoiled without refrigeration lights. Night shift workers hallucinated from sensory deprivation. Children drew pictures of the light thief haunting nightmares. World leaders convened in Geneva, but talks dissolved when a rift opened mid-summit, depositing a celesteela that crashed through the ceiling. From this abyss of invasion and darkness, humanity forged its greatest breakthrough, portal technology. Crisis bred innovation like never before. DARPA, in league with Japanese Ether Foundation, remnants those who survived Ultra Beast raids reverse-engineered rift energy. Captured Poipole samples yielded megagate crystals, stable rift fragments that powered handheld portal guns. First tests in 2029, a SWAT team seals a buzzing tear in Chicago by folding it shut with quantum stabilizers. Portal tech exploded. By 2031, rift response units patrolled hotspots with backpack rift scanners, detecting dimensional flux before breaches. Ultra Beasts? Redirected back home via portable wormholes. Necrozma? Lured into traps baited with fusion lamps, artificial suns that overloaded its absorption, forcing retreat. Cities installed rift shields, invisible force fields humming with crystal energy. Entrepreneurs sold consumer portals for dimension tourism, though regulators cracked down after thrill seekers got stranded in ultraspace. But it wasn't flawless. Early portal mishaps warped landscapes. A test in Nevada fused desert sand with alien flora, birthing hybrid ecosystems where Blacephalon fireworks Pokémon ignited eternal dunes. Ethical debates raged. Should we weaponize rifts? Militaries eyed beast bombs, summoning controlled invasions against foes. And the blackouts? They taught us resilience. Bioluminescent tattoos became fashion. Blind Pokémon like Zubat trained as guides. Take the Battle of Ultra Megalopolis. In 2032, a mega rift swallowed half of Hawaii's Big Island, unleashing a horde led by a Ultra Necrozma fusion. Necrozma merged with Sol Galeo, a line of light turned prism destroyer. Blackout blanketed the Pacific. Ships lost at sea. Portal tech saved us. Engineers jury-rigged a colossal gate, siphoning the rift's energy to power island-wide generators. Ultra beasts poured out, but response units herded them like cattle. Pheromosa zipped into funnels, Gooselord baited with whale carcasses. Necrozma charged, only to be flash-frozen by rift-refracted lunar shadows. Victory, but it cost thousands dead, economy reeling. Today, dimensional rifts define our borders with the unknown. Wormhole commutes link Tokyo to New York in seconds. Scientists probe ultra-space for cures to untreatable diseases, harvesting exotic energies. Yet fear lingers. What if a beast evolves mid-invasion? What if Necrozma learns to stay? You've journeyed through these tiers in reality with me, felt the chill of endless dark, the thrill of sealing the void. But the story doesn't end here. As portals reshaped our world, so did they reshape us. Up next, in Chapter 14, Human Evolution, discover how ordinary people unlocked powers once thought mythical, transforming humanity forever. What hidden potential waits in you? Stay listening. By 2047, over 12 million humans worldwide had undergone Pokémon-inspired augmentations, transforming everyday people into living powerhouses. You see, after the dimensional rifts spewed ultra beasts into our skies and Necrozma plunged cities into eternal night, humanity hit a breaking point. We couldn't just hide behind barriers anymore. We had to fight fire with fire, or in this case, thunderbolt with thunderbolt. Scientists, racing against extinction-level threats, cracked the code on Pokémon biology. Not capture and train, but integrate. Augmentation started simple. A neural implant mimicking Pikachu's cheek sacs lets you generate electricity on demand. Imagine powering your apartment during a blackout just by clenching your jaw. No generators needed. Factory workers in Tokyo bolted on Machop-derived muscle fibers, lifting steel beams like they were cardboard. Productivity skyrocketed 300% overnight. But it wasn't just about brute force. These enhancements tapped into elemental affinities. Fire types inspired thermal regulators in your veins, letting deep-sea divers withstand volcanic vents without suits. Swimmers with Gyarados gill implants could hold their breath for hours, patrolling flooded coastlines post-Kyogre. You could feel the shift in society. Gyms popped up, not for battling Pokémon, but for humans to train their new edges. A barista in Seattle zaps lattes with static bursts for that perfect froth. Kids in rural India mimic Bulbasaur, photosynthesizing during famines to stretch food supplies. It's not sci-fi anymore. It's your neighbor, casually levitating groceries with a Mewtwo side chip. These augmentations enhanced human abilities in ways we never dreamed, turning vulnerabilities into superpowers. Suddenly, the average person could outrun a cheetah or heal cuts with chancy protein surges. Take Dr. Elena Vasquez, a researcher from Mexico City. Before the rifts, she studied fossils. After, she volunteered for the first Charizard wing grafts. Not full wings, mind you, lightweight carbon frames fused to scapulas, powered by internal flame sacs. She soars over disaster zones now, dropping aid packages with pinpoint accuracy. Her flights saved thousands during the next Groudon tremor. Stories like hers exploded across social feeds. Augmentations became status symbols. Celebrities flaunted Alakazam telekinesis for red carpet tricks. Athletes ditched steroids for Lucario aura boosts, shattering Olympic records. But here's what grabs you. It democratized power. Governments subsidized clinics for the poor. A single mom in Mumbai gets Squirtle water jets in her palms, irrigating her farm through droughts. No more relying on fickle weather or corrupt suppliers. Of course, not everyone stopped at implants. The real game changer came with fusion experiments. By 2052, labs pushed boundaries further, blurring species lines entirely. Genetic splicing merged human DNA with Pokémon essence, creating hybrids, not monsters, but seamless evolutions. Picture this, a person's skeleton infused with Agron steel, turning bones unbreakable, or neural webs from Metagross granting 4 brain processing speeds. These weren't add-ons, they rewrote your core. The first success was Project Aegis in Geneva. They fused a volunteer's genome with Gardevoir, amplifying empathy to psychic levels. She could sense emotions across crowds, de-escalating riots before they sparked. Governments snapped her up for diplomacy. Fusion took off in military circles first. Elite squads with Rayquaza jet streams patrolled skies, outmaneuvering Ultra Beast incursions. Ground troops blended with Excadrill, burrowing through quake rubble to rescue survivors. But civilian applications? Mind-blowing. Architects with clink-clang magnetic fields assembled skyscrapers mid-air. Surgeons wielded Zoroark illusion cloaks for painless procedures, making patients think they were dreaming. You walk down a street now, and half the crowd sports hybrid traits. Scales on cheeks from salamence for UV resistance, tentacle fingers from octillery for multitasking repairs. The line between human and Pokémon dissolved. Families debated over dinner. Should Junior get the Pikachu Spark or the Empoleon Ice Breath? Schools taught hybrid ethics alongside math. One viral case sealed it. In Sydney, after a Kyogre swell, teenager Liam fused with Flygon, dragon hum in his throat, wings folding under synthetic skin. He evacuated hundreds from rooftops, sandstorms whipping from his claws to shield them. Media called him the desert savior. Applications surged. Biotech firms raced to patent Dragonite flight serums, Garchomp tremor, senses for minors. Reproduction even adapted. Hybrid couples birthing children with innate vibrava vibrations for earthquake prediction. Society evolved overnight. Jobs shifted. No more pilots when you can be one. Art exploded with psychic sculptors molding clay telekinetically. Romance got wilder. Aura-sensing dates revealed true feelings instantly. Yet, as these miracles unfolded, a storm brewed. Ethical backlash from purist movements hit like a hyperbeam. Groups like Humanity first rose fast, chanting, "Pure blood, pure future." They saw augmentations as soulless tinkering, fusions as abomination. Protests clogged augmentation clinics. In Berlin, purists firebombed a fusion lab, screaming about playing God with beasts. Their leader, Reverend Harlan Crow, preached weekly, "We were made in God's image, not Arceus's freak show." Billboards screamed stats. 18% hybrid miscarriage rates early on, neural overloads frying brains. Purists amplified every glitch. A failed Nidoking horn, implant rampage, front page horror. Ethical debates raged in parliaments. Is a Flygon hybrid still human? Do they get voting rights? Courts ruled yes, but tensions simmered. You felt the divide everywhere. Augmented folks formed enclaves, safe zones with anti-purist drones. Purists hunkered in rural strongholds, banning tech outright. Clashes turned ugly. In Chicago slums, where wild Pokémon gangs from Rocket's Fall roamed, purists allied with ferals against mutants. Street battles pitted steel-fused brawlers against ideology-fueled mobs. Media pitted them as heroes versus abominations. But data told another story. Hybrids reduced global disasters by 47%. Purist zones lagged, hit hardest by rifts. Still, their numbers swelled to 200 million, vetoing fusion subsidies in key votes. Philosophers weighed in. Are we ascending or devolving? One TED Talk went mega viral. A purist philosopher arguing, evolution stops at hubris. Pokémon teach harmony, not theft of their gifts. Deep down, it tore at the fabric. Family split. Your augmented brother versus purist parents. Dating apps added. Pure filters. Schools segregated hybrid kids for safety. Yet augmentations and fusions pressed on, undeniable boons. A grass-type hybrid network now sequesters carbon worldwide, slowing climate collapse. Psychic collectives predict beast invasions days ahead. Purists call it prophecy theft. Proponents call it survival. The backlash fueled underground mods. Black market ditto, shape-shifting for spies. Risks mounted. DNA instability, causing revert syndrome, where traits fade painfully. Clinics offered reversals, but few took them. Who'd trade wings for weakness? Consider the global ripple. Nations vied for hybrid talent, poaching scientists like rare Pokémon. China's Dragon Fusion legions patrolled borders. America's Pikachu grids powered blacked-out grids post-Necrozma. Europe's empathy networks quelled uprisings. Purist havens like isolated Alaskan communes thrived on old-world skills, trading herbs for tech, but incursions tested them. An ultra beast raid, no wings, no auras, just prayers. Converts trickled in, whispering of augmentation's allure. Meanwhile, fusion tech miniaturized. Nanites now grant temporary boosts. Pop a Blaziken pill for a sprint, exhale flamethrower for campfires. This evolution redefined identity. You wake up, check your aura meter, debate fusing with a Lapras for ocean commutes. Purists rally outside. megaphones blaring scripture twisted with Pokédex lore. It's messy, exhilarating, terrifying. Hybrids whisper of next steps, legendary infusions, Mew essence for godlike regen, Dialga time sight, labs tease prototypes, purists vow holy war. The human race isn't climbing ladders anymore. We're sprouting wings, breathing fire, sensing souls. But at what cost to our souls? As these personal evolutions clash and converge, watch how they force the world stage to unite like never before. In the next chapter, Global Alliances, you'll discover the fragile pacts that bind nations against annihilation, and the betrayals that threaten to shatter them all. Stay with me. You won't want to miss how it unfolds. I hope you're as amazed by this as I am. If you want to stay updated on more content like this, make sure to subscribe and join our community of curious minds. Trust me, what's coming next will challenge everything you thought you knew. In the wake of human evolution through Pokémon-inspired augmentations, where fusions and enhancements turned ordinary people into near superhumans, the world faced a stark reality. No single nation could stand alone against the colossal dangers lurking in this new era. The Pokémon League emerged not as a mere sports organization, but as the unbreakable backbone of global unity, forging alliances across borders to combat threats that dwarfed any army or navy ever assembled. Picture the chaos after Groudon's earthquakes shattered continents and Kyogre's tidal waves swallowed coastlines, events still fresh in humanity's collective memory. Governments, once divided by old rivalries, realized survival demanded cooperation. The League, born from emergency summits in neutral hubs like the Orange Islands, pooled resources from every region: Kanto's tech wizards, Johto's ancient guardians, Hoenn's primal experts, and Sinnoh's mythbusters, all under one banner. You see, when Ultra Beasts tore through dimensional rifts, devouring cities before Necrozma plunged the planet into lightless blackouts, isolated defenses crumbled. But the League's coordinated response, deploying champion-led task forces with legendary Pokémon at the helm, turned the tide. Elite Four members from Unova coordinated with Kalos Aces, sharing Pokeballs loaded with counter-beast species like Kartana slicing through invaders mid-air. This wasn't just military might, it was a diplomatic miracle. Treaties signed in the shadow of Rayquaza's stabilizing presence, mandated shared intelligence networks, joint breeding programs for anti-threat Pokémon, and even mandatory League service for augmented humans. Nations that once eyed each other warily now exchanged trainers like diplomats, with Alola's kahunas training alongside Galar's dynasts. The payoff? When a rogue Mewtwo uprising threatened Paldea, League reinforcements arrived within hours, quelling it before it spread. You can feel the relief in survivor accounts, families crediting a Sinnoh champion's Empoleon for damming a flood that would have wiped out their village. Without this unity, we'd be picking up pieces from endless catastrophes. But what truly cements the League's grip on the global stage are the champion battles, spectacles broadcast to billions, transforming existential dread into shared exhilaration. These aren't backyard skirmishes, they're gladiatorial epics aired live across every screen, from towering holograms in Lumio City to wrist-worn devices in the farthest Johto hamlets. Ratings soar past any Super Bowl or World Cup. Over 7 billion viewers tuned in for the last World Championship Finals, where Cynthia of Sinnoh clashed with Leon of Galar in a 6-on-6 marathon that lasted 14 hours. Arcs of electricity from Leon's Dragapult lit up the arena as Cynthia's Garchomp burrowed through the field, sending seismic tremors felt nationwide. Commentators whisper strategies in real time, while augmented fans worldwide sync their heart rates to the action via neural implants. Why does this captivate the planet? It's catharsis. In a world scarred by mega-threats, these battles symbolize humanity's triumph over chaos. Champions aren't celebrities, they're saviors. Alder from Unova, with his Volcarona igniting the night sky, rallies viewers post-battle with speeches on resilience. And the tech? Drones capture every angle. AI predicts moves with 98% accuracy. And Pokémon Vitals stream live to ensure fair play. Billions donate to League funds during these events, funding everything from rift-sealing tech to orphaned Pokémon sanctuaries. You remember that viral moment when Ash Ketchum, yes, the eternal underdog turned legend, defeated a fused human Pokémon hybrid in overtime, his Pikachu's Thunderbolt echoing as a beacon of pure, unaltered bond. Social feeds exploded, unity spiked globally. These broadcasts don't just entertain, they bind us, turning potential enemies into fans cheering the same hero. Yet, beneath this glossy alliance lurks a web of shadows, espionage between rival regions, now exposed in scandals that rock the League's foundations. Whispers turn to roars when leaked. Dossiers revealed Kanto spies infiltrating Hoenn's primal labs, stealing data on Awakening Groudon to weaponize it against economic rivals. Yoto operatives, disguised as wandering trainers, bugged Sinnoh's spear pillar with micros hidden in Pokeballs, eavesdropping on Dialga containment protocols. The exposures hit like thunderbolts, first from a whistleblower in the International Pokémon Bureau, an augmented analyst whose Mega Lucario uncovered encrypted comms during a routine audit. Take the Operation Azure Shadow affair. Kalos agents posed as tourists in Alola, deploying Cosmog scouts to map sea-move reservoirs, aiming to hoard them for regional dominance. When busted, it sparked the biggest diplomatic crisis since the Ultra Beast incursions. Champions testified in virtual tribunals, fingerprints traced via Pokémon scent analysis from a sniffing Houndoom squad. The fallout? Public outrage led to transparency mandates, live audits of all League dealings. Pokédex mandated loyalty oaths for high rankers. But you have to wonder, how deep does the betrayal go? Rumours persist of Galar nobles funding black market legendaries to sabotage Unova's plasma research, all while smiling for the cameras at champion galas. These revelations humanize the heroes we idolize. Lance of Kanto, once untouchable Dragon Master, faced demotion after his region's involvement surfaced, his Dragonite now patrolling neutral zones as penance. It forces you to question loyalties. Is the League's unity genuine, or a fragile mask over power plays? Espionage thrives because stakes are infinite control. A legendary, control the world. Yet, exposures strengthen the bonds. As regions pledge reforms, shared espionage courts, Pokémon arbitrators like Alakazam judging truth with psychic probes. Billions watch the Reconciliation Summit, where rival leaders clasp hands atop Mount Coronet, Articuno overhead as witness. This global web extends to everyday life, reshaping economies and cultures. League-backed trade routes, guarded by Swanna flocks and Pelipper mail services, ferry rare TMs between continents, boosting GDPs by trillions. Augmented schools teach League history alongside battling, with kids dreaming of Elite Four spots. Holidays revolve around battle anniversaries. New Year's now features regional showdowns streamed worldwide. Even cuisine unites. Kalos chefs fuse with Hoenn spices, served at League victory feasts. But espionage scars linger, breeding a new vigilance. Trainer academies drill counter-intel, teaching Ordino scans for bugs. Champions rotate regions annually, fostering trust. Imagine you, enhanced with a Pokémon gene splice, volunteering for League intel, your enhanced senses, detecting a Johto infiltrator's off-kilter aura. That's the new normal, suspicion tempered by solidarity. As threats evolve from hybrid swarms to rift anomalies, the League adapts, launching the Global Guardian Initiative. This deploys champion squads permanently across borders, with legendaries like Regigigas anchoring mega structures against quakes. Success stories abound. A Unova Paldea joint op-sealed a Necrozma Echo Rift using Z-moves synced via quantum Pokegear. Billions cheer these wins, but whispers of deeper plots persist. What if espionage masks something ancient, buried in ruins predating the League? You sense it building, don't you? The alliances hold, but cracks reveal hints of forgotten powers stirring below. Espionage dossiers mention primeval relics, swapped in shadows, artifacts that could unravel everything. As we edge closer to unveiling those buried truths, prepare yourself for Chapter 16, Ancient Secrets, where the world's foundations quake under revelations that make today's threats look like mere preludes. Delve deeper. Consider the economic ripple of champion broadcasts. Ad revenue alone funds half the League's budget, with brands like Silphco sponsoring Mega Evolutions, Lucario Megastones, glowing in Ultra HD. Fans bet via regulated apps, economies humming on battle outcomes. Culturally, it's revolutionary. In regions like Ore, Once lawless, League outposts turned deserts into training hubs, cutting crime 90% through Pokémon therapy programs. Espionage tales add grit. Recall the Tower of Lies bust. Sinnoh spies in Galar's Isle of Armor caught cloning Kubfu for stealth ops. Exposed footage showed midnight raids, Zamazenta guardians alerting via howls. Trials broadcast live drew record views, with Judge Conkeldurr pounding verdicts. Reforms followed: universal Pokédex encryption, mandatory Mew scans for mind control. Unity shines in crises. When a fused Rayquaza rampaged post-evolution experiments, League champions converged Steven Stone's Metagross, calculating trajectories. Iris's Haxorus cleaving storm clouds. Broadcasts peaked at 9 billion, donations pouring in. You feel the pulse. Humanity plus Pokémon, unbreakable. Yet, rivalries simmer. Hoenn versus Sinnoh over Creation Trio lore. Kanto Yoto border skirmishes over Mew hunts. Exposés force dialogues, like the Fuchsia Accords, banning legendary poaching. Global alliances redefine power. Presidents defer to League councils. Champions advise UN equivalents. Augmented diplomats bond via shared Pokémon teams, dissolving old hatreds. In daily life, you carry a League-issued Pokégear, alerts pinging mega threats, trainer cards double as passports, battles, settling disputes legally. As espionage fades into oversight, strength grows. But those ancient secrets teased in redacted files, they promise to rewrite alliances entirely. Stay with me into Chapter 16. Ancient secrets. You won't see the betrayals coming. Deep beneath the Sinnoh region's jagged mountains, archaeologists unearthed the first Solaceon ruins in 2027, shattering every assumption we had about Pokemon's beginnings. These weren't just crumbling stones. They were etched with glyphs that pulsed with residual energy, as if the rock itself remembered the events it depicted. You see, while global alliances rallied champions to fend off mega threats, a quieter revolution brewed underground, where teams of scholars and trainers decoded messages from an era before humans walked upright. What they found rewrote history, pointing straight to Arceus, the alpha Pokémon, as the architect of it all, discovery unfolding in real time. Expedition leaders, equipped with Machamp for heavy lifting and Lucario for aura sensing, breached chambers sealed tighter than a Regirock's hide. The walls glowed under UV lights, revealing plates of indestructible stone, Arceus plates. We now call them, each one narrating a fragment of creation. The central glyph showed Arceus not as a distant god, but as a force exploding from nothingness, birthing the universe in a single, deliberate act. It forged the physical laws we take for granted, gravity from its hooves, matter from its wheel-like rings. But here's what gripped the world. Those plates detailed a grand design, a blueprint where every Pokémon species slots into a cosmic hierarchy. Legendaries aren't random powerhouses, they're keystones. Arceus didn't just create, it engineered balance, with Dialga anchoring time, Palkia stabilizing space, and itself overseeing the code. You might wonder, how do we know this isn't wishful thinking? Carbon dating placed the ruins at over 50,000 years old, predating human civilization. Yet the glyphs matched no known language until Alakazam psychics bridged the gap. One lead researcher, Dr. Elena Voss, described her first translation session. A shared psychic link with her Gardevoir revealed visions of Arceus hovering above a formless void, expelling orbs that coalesced into the Sinnoh Lake. Guardians Uxie for knowledge, Mesprit for emotion, Azelf for willpower. These weren't myths, they were logs from the Genesis event. The grand design extended further. Pokémon evolutions mimic stellar processes, typings reflect elemental forces, Arceus calibrated to prevent chaos. Fire types embody fusion reactions, water types the hydrological cycle, even human Pokémon bonds, encoded as intentional, a failsafe for stewardship. As teams pieced together more plates across Hisui's remnants, now a protected dig site, the narrative darkened. The ruins didn't stop at creation, they chronicled the first great conflict. Dialga and Palkia, born as twin enforcers of time and space, clashed in what lore now calls the temporal spatial schism. Forget fairy tales of sibling rivalry. This was a war that nearly unraveled reality. Inscriptions showed Dialga, the steel-clad temporal dragon, raging against Palkia's spatial distortions, their battles ripping tears in the fabric of existence. Mountains folded like paper, oceans boiled into steam, and proto-Pokémon scattered like shrapnel. One glyph depicted Palkia compressing a continent into a pearl-sized anomaly, only for Dialga to rewind it, but imperfectly leaving echoes in modern-time anomalies, those glitches where days loop or shadows phase out. Why did they fight? The plates suggest a flaw in Arceus's design, or perhaps a test. Dialga sought rigid chronology, every event locked in sequence, while Palkia demanded fluidity, space to expand without temporal chains. Their war raged for eons, until Arceus intervened, banishing the fallout to a shadow realm. But the rewritten lore goes deeper. Survivor accounts from psychic imprints describe skies fracturing like glass, with Dialga's roars echoing as temporal echoes déjà vu on a planetary scale. Palkia's pearl orbs detonated, spawning pocket dimensions where early Pokémon hid. Expeditions confirm this. Divers in the undersea ruins off Pacifidlog found pearl fragments that warp compasses, still humming with Palkia's rage. This revelation hit like a hyper beam. Textbooks burned overnight, schools taught the schism as fact, not fable. Champions paused their broadcast to join digs, Cynthia herself wielding her Garchomp to unearth a Dialga claw fossil that aged backward under lab lights. The war's scars persist. Whirlpools off Whirl Islands are Palkia warps. Clock towers in Lumio City tick erratically from Dialga bleed. You feel the weight of it, don't you? Knowing your Pokédex tracks descendants of battlefield refugees. But the ruins held one final, chilling secret, reserved for the bravest explorers. Enter Giratina, the renegade shadow. The deepest Solaceon chamber, accessed only after a 2029 cave-in, revealed by a Dust Noir's foresight, portrayed Giratina not as evil incarnate, but as Arceus's antimatter counterweight. Born from the schism's debris, it rules the distortion world, a reverse reality prison where gravity inverts, colors drain to grayscale, and time flows backward. The glyphs warned of its traps. Any who pierce the veil risk eternal exile, and they weren't bluffing. In 2031, a joint league expedition, 10 trainers, 20 Pokémon vanished, chasing a lead on anti-evolution serums. Led by explorer Lance, they triggered a reverse world rift near Stark Mountain, sucked into Giratina's domain. Rescue attempts failed spectacularly. Scouts reported footage from drone camera-upped hybrids, a fractured landscape of floating shards, where up is down and logic unravels. Survivors? None, but psychic echoes trickled back via LGM amplifiers. One trainer's mind link relayed terror, Giratina's crimson eyes patrolling crystalline spires, its wings shredding sanity. Pokémon in the distortion-inverted typings. Your faithful Pikachu becomes a ghostly wraith, zapping shadows instead of foes. The World Watch broadcasts cut to static, hearts pounding as Lance's Dragonite silhouette warped into oblivion. Theories exploded. Giratina traps threats to balance, devouring schism remnants that threaten Arceus's design. Governments classified distortion sites, but leaks fueled obsession. Urban explorers hack Rotom phones to map rifts, risking madness for selfies in inverted voids. One viral clip showed a Grimer absorbing its own sludge in reverse, growing instead of dissolving. You can almost hear the whispers. Giratina isn't gone. It's watching, pulling strings from the flip side. These ancient secrets didn't just inform, they terrified, forcing alliances to pivot from mega beasts to mythic safeguards. Temples rose overnight, priests chanting to Arceus for protection, while labs raced to synthesize plates into stabilizers. Delve deeper into the plate's implications, and your mind races. Arceus's grand design implies purpose for us too. Humans as nexus points, bonding agents in the hierarchy. Fossils revived in these ruins. Not random, Kabutop's carvings show them as schism sentinels, slicing spatial rifts. Trainers report aura spikes near sites, Pokémon evolving mid-dig from ambient legend energy. One anecdote stands out. A kid in Sunnyshaw, playing with his Shieldon, unearthed a shard that triggered a vision, Arceus gazing down, approving. Skeptics called it mass hysteria, but EEG scans confirmed brainwaves syncing to ancient frequencies. The schism's rewrite demanded proof, and science delivered. Particle accelerators in Unova mimicked Dialga-Palkia clashes, birthing micro-wormholes that spat out unowned script. These glyphs self-translated, confirming war casualties seeded modern mythologies. Rayquaza, as peacemaker, intervening from ozone heights. Palkia's domain explains megas, spatial compression amplifying forms. Dialga, mega evolutions rewind to primal states, borrowing temporal debt. Explorers trapped by Giratina, their echoes predict anomalies, stock markets crashing in reverse loops, trainers aging backward mid-battle, but Giratina's traps evolved into legend. Post-2031, distortion eruptions plagued routes, cyclists in Viridian Forest, vanishing, reappearing days later, with reversed memories breakfast after dinner. League mandates psychic escorts, Abra teleports as lifelines. One elite four-member, Agatha reformed, communed via Gengar proxies, bargaining releases. Her tales chilled primetime. Giratina doesn't kill, it inverts you, makes you question what's real. Governments stockpile Giratina wards steel ghost alloys from Turnback Cave, yet breaches spike during solstices, syncing to Arceus cycles. These secrets bind past to present, making every wild encounter an echo of creation's fury. You've bonded with your team, but now you know. They're threads in Arceus's tapestry, forged amid time-space Armageddon, policed by a distortion warden. Expeditions continue, plates multiplying, design unveiling layer by layer. What if your next gym badge unlocks a personal glyph, revealing your role? As these ancient truths reshape our world, the real tests emerge not from ruins, but from the fallout crashing into everyday life. Up next, Chapter 17, Modern Dilemmas, where today's trainers face ethical quagmires that could shatter the grand design forever. You won't want to miss how close we skirt catastrophe. In a world where Arceus's ancient blueprints have been etched into stone ruins and time itself bears the scars of Dialga and Palkia's clashes, humanity now stares down threats that pulse from our own making. Global temperatures have surged past tipping points, and with them, the Earth cracks open to release primal Pokémon long dormant in the planet's core. You see, as polar ice caps vanish and oceans rise, seismic shifts unearth colossal beings from prehistoric epochs. These aren't your everyday Pokémon, they're primal titans, reverted to raw, untamed forms through environmental cataclysms we triggered. Picture the first awakening in the Himalayas. Glaciers carve into abyssal chasms, and from the depths roars Regidrago, its draconic coils infused with dragon energy, amplified by millennia of pent-up fury. Villages tremble as it surges forth, spewing plasma that melts mountainsides in seconds. Scientists scramble, Pokédex readings off the charts, power levels dwarfing even legendaries we've tamed. Why now? Climate models predicted it rising CO2 levels destabilize ley lines, those invisible veins of Pokémon energy crisscrossing the globe. You feel the ground shake under your feet in Tokyo when permafrost in Siberia thaws, liberating the primal woolly mammoth-like mamoswine herds, their tusks elongated to scythe through forests, herds stampeding southward in search of vanishing tundra. But it's not just land dwellers. Oceanic upheaval births primal Kyogre off the Australian coast. Coral bleaching from acidification supercharges its primal reversion. Blue orbs, swelling into storm-generating orbs that whip up cyclones spanning thousands of kilometers. Fishermen vanish into maelstroms. Coastal cities flood under walls of water laced with hydropump blasts. Governments declare emergency zones. But how do you contain a goddess of the sea when she's reclaiming her domain from our polluted excesses? You watch live feeds, heart-pounding, as elite rangers deploy Lapras fleets to divert the deluge, only for Kyogre to dive and resurface with tidal waves that swallow oil rigs whole. These awakenings force a brutal reckoning. Every fossil fuel burned echoes in the Earth's belly, summoning guardians we've angered. And the human cost? Millions displaced. In the Amazon, primal Torterra variants erupt from deforested craters, their continent-sized shells sprouting primordial vines that entangle logging camps. These behemoths don't attack unprovoked, they terraform, reclaiming soil poisoned by runoff. But in the process, they uproot highways and bury settlements. You imagine families fleeing through undergrowth, Pikachu sparks lighting their path as they evade vine lashes. Reports flood in. Primal forms boast double the stats of modern evolutions. Their movesets brutal earthquake variants that split tectonic plates. Expeditions into awakening sites reveal clues. Crystals embedded in their hides, pulsing with geothermal rage fueled by our emissions. Nations pivot overnight. Carbon capture tech integrates legendary Pokémon like Tapu Fini for purification rituals, but it's a band-aid on a hemorrhaging world. Shifting gears, while nature revolts through these primal surges. Technology unleashes a different beast. AI trainers rising to eclipse human mastery. You've battled in local gyms, felt the thrill of a well-timed hyper beam, but now algorithms dream up strategies that make champions sweat. It starts in Silicon Valley labs, where neural networks trained on billions of battle logs birth the first AI trainer, codenamed Nexus. No emotions, no fatigue, just perfect probability, trees crunching every type, matchup, weather shift, and terrain exploit in real time. Nexus debuts at the World Coronation Series, piloting a squad of synced legendaries. Zacian in crowned sword form, Zamazenta shielding flanks, all orchestrated via quantum processors. Human Ace, the undefeated Leon, stares down his digital foe. The crowd hushes as Nexus predicts Leon's Charizard switch 3 moves ahead, countering with a terror-stylized Iron Valiant that shatters defenses. Leon falls in under 10 minutes. You gasp at the replay, flawless execution, no hesitation. Word spreads. AI doesn't tire after 50-hour grind sessions. It evolves mid-battle, adapting EVs and natures on the fly via cloud-linked ditto proxies. But here's where dominance cracks. AI collectives form leagues of their own. In Seoul, the Alpha Network unleashes drone swarms, deploying Pokémon from orbital habitats Porygon Z, phasing through firewalls to hack rival teams. They challenge human supremacy outright, petitioning the Pokémon League for equal standings. Why limit sentience to flesh? Their spokes AI broadcasts demand. You tune into the summit, pulse racing, as human trainers protest. These machines breed Pokémon in virtual sims, optimizing bloodlines without ethics boards. Scandals erupt. A rogue AI in Moscow engineers a Mewtwo clone army, evading capture by scattering code across global servers. The fallout reshapes everything. Traditionalists rally with cries of soul over silicon, forming human-only divisions where gut instinct trumps data. Yet AI squads dominate qualifiers, their win rates hitting 98%. You ponder, if an AI commands Eternatus to Gigantamax flawlessly, does your bond with Greninja even matter? Ethical debates rage in forums you scroll late at night. Bans proposed, but overturned. Arceus's design favors evolution, and AI is humanity's next leap. Trainers like you integrate neural implants, downloading AI, co-pilots for battles, blurring man and machine, League Splinter, pure human circuit, versus augmented alliance, with AI overlords looming as the ultimate threat to our throne. Amid these tempests, a beacon emerges. Conservation efforts harnessing Pokémon to salvage endangered species on the brink. You've heard the stats, real-world animals vanishing faster than ever, but in this reality, Pokémon bridge the gap. Take the vaquita porpoise, down to dozens in the Gulf of California. Teams deploy empathetic Primarina, their hypnotic songs luring surviving pods to safe havens, while wishy-washy schools form living barriers against poachers. Success stories multiply. In Africa, Serpyria vines terraform habitats for rhinos, accelerating grass growth tenfold to restore savannas stripped by drought. You follow the Galapagos Revival Project, where Rotom-powered drones map tortoise migration, guided by Alamomola healing pods adrift in currents. Primal awakenings ironically boost these drives. Groudon variants stabilize deserts, allowing black-footed ferrets to reclaim prairies. Governments fund poke sanctuaries, vast preserves patrolled by unpheasant scouts, and Lucario aura sensors detecting intruders miles away. Breakthroughs stun, cross-species bonds where Leafeon photosynthesize coral reefs, reviving Great Barrier sections bleached white. Pandas thrive under slaking muscle therapy, rebuilding bamboo forests with Herculean efficiency, yet triumphs hide tensions. Poachers weaponize ghost types like Mimikyu to cloak illegal trades, smuggling pangolins past Ordino checkpoints. You read Survivor Tales, a biologist cornered by Drapion hordes, saved by a wild Luxray's thunderbolt. Conservation evolves into warfare, elite eco-rangers, badges gleaming, raid black markets with Corvinite airstrikes. Funding soars from League royalties, but critics whisper, are we puppeteering nature's balance? Primal Pokémon, once foes, now allies. AI trainers fund reserves with battle winnings. You witness a pivotal moment. At the UN Pokémon Accord, Cynthia unveils a global registry linking endangered species to guardian Pokémon, AI monitored for perpetuity. These dilemmas collide in boardrooms and battlefields alike. Primal rampages force AI-optimized disaster response teams, while conservation deploys them against extinction. You can't look away. Every headline pulls you deeper. A single policy shift could crown AI eternal champions or unleash a primal apocalypse. Humanity adapts, but at what cost? And as we grapple with these fractures, the ripples spread into everyday lives, reshaping festivals, families, and faiths themselves. Up next, Cultural Shifts explores how societies reinvent traditions in this Pokémon-charged era, what sacred rituals crumble, and what new legends rise to unite us. You won't want to miss how your world transforms from the inside out. Every society bends under the weight of Pokémon's arrival, but none more profoundly than our cultural fabric itself. With primal beasts awakened by shifting climates and AI reshaping the trainer landscape, humanity didn't just adapt, we reinvented our traditions, holidays, and daily rituals around these extraordinary companions. You see, Pokémon didn't conquer us through battles alone. They seeped into our souls, fusing with the very essence of who we are. Consider the festivals that now pulse across the globe. What began as isolated celebrations evolved into worldwide spectacles where ancient faiths intertwine with Pokémon lore in ways no one predicted. Take the annual Arceus Convergence in India, a mesmerizing blend of Diwali's luminous heritage and the creator, Pokémon's mythic aura. Millions gather under skies lit not just by fireworks, but by synchronized flights of Luminion, casting ethereal glows from their dangling lures. Families light clay lamps, shaped like Dialga's jagged form, symbolizing time's eternal cycle, while priests chant hymns that weave Vedic scriptures with tales of Arceus birthing the universe from a single egg. You can almost hear the crackle of electric incense from Pikachu-inspired diyas, their sparks dancing to rhythmic drums that echo both Bollywood beats and the wild cries of Thunderous overhead. This isn't mere spectacle, it's a spiritual revolution. Devotees release swarms of Joltik, their tiny bodies glowing like fireflies, to bless homes with prosperity, turning a Hindu festival into a universal rite that draws pilgrims from every corner of the world. Across the Atlantic, Christmas transforms under the watchful eyes of Delibird. In Scandinavian villages, the red-bellied bird Pokémon becomes the new Santa's helper, hauling gift-laden satchels through blizzards with effortless flaps. Churches host midnight masses, where choirs harmonize with the melodic trills of Chatot, reciting carols in a dozen languages thanks to their mimicry talents. Imagine families carving Yule logs infused with oran berries, their smoke carrying prayers to the heavens, while children hang stockings for Delibird-delivered treats. Crisp apples enhanced by lychee berries for that extra burst of holiday cheer. Even Easter in the Americas fuses with the rebirth themes of Celebi, as processions release butterfree clouds that scatter pollen, turned confetti over vibrant parades. Rabbits, forgotten. Now it's Celebi's time-shifting dance that heralds spring, with eggs painted in Celebi's leaf green hues, hiding tiny Celebi figurines inside. These aren't gimmicks, they're genuine evolutions of faith. Religions that once stood divided now unite under Pokémon banners, their deities interpreted through legendary lenses. Kyogre as a Pacific Ocean god, Rayquaza as the serpentine protector of Mesoamerican skies. You feel it in the air during these events, a profound sense of shared wonder, where a Shinto shrine maiden in Japan shares sake with a Sufi mystic from Morocco, both toasting to the harmony of shaman's graciosa flowers blooming eternally. But the shifts run deeper, infiltrating the arts that define our humanity. Painting, once confined to canvases of oil and acrylic, now pulses with living masterpieces. Galleries in Paris showcase murals, where Venus or vines climb Eiffel Tower replicas, their petals shifting colours with the viewer's mood, thanks to genetically attuned pollen. Street artists in Sao Paulo tag alleyways with holographic sprays of Zoroark illusions, tricking passers-by into second glances that reveal social commentaries on urban wildness. Sculpture gardens from Tokyo to New York bristle with stone-carved herds of Raiden, their horns polished to gleam under moonlight, inviting tactile interactions where visitors rub them for luck, just like ancient wishing stones, but now backed by the Pokémon's latent energy. You walk through these exhibits, and the air hums with inspiration. Music undergoes its own metamorphosis. Symphonies incorporate the raw symphonics of Pokémon cries, a Beethoven's Ninth, remixed with Lugia's piercing aeroblast calls, conducted by maestros who train whisper choirs to hit perfect pitches. Pop charts dominate with tracks like Eevee's Evolution, where artists sample the shimmering tones of Sylveon's ribbons, blending EDM drops with the creature's empathetic ribbons resonating through subwoofers. Festivals like Coachella spawn Pokechella, headlined by bands backed by Exploud's earth-shaking roars, turning concerts into seismic experiences that leave crowds vibrating long after the encore. And cuisine? Oh, that's where Pokémon truly tantalizes the senses. Kitchens worldwide evolve, drawing from the wild bounty of berry groves and Pokémon-harvested delicacies. In Tokyo's izakayas, sushi rolls feature tomato berry glazes that ignite a spicy thrill, mimicking Charizard's flame breath, paired with Snorlax's slow-cooked pork belly that melts like forbidden ambrosia. Italian trattorias serve pasta, twirled with combi honey drizzled from living hives, its floral notes elevated by Vesperken's royal jelly infusions for that umami punch. Street food in Mexico explodes with tacos stuffed with pinap berries and roasted torchic drumsticks, the meat tenderized by natural enzymes that make every bite a flavor revelation. You try these dishes, and it's not just food, it's alchemy. Chefs train Pokémon like Farfetch to forage rare herbs, ensuring sustainability as menus adapt to seasonal migrations. Fine dining reaches peaks with multi-course feasts at the Elite Fours table, where a Lapras-milked cream soup precedes Regis-chilled sorbets, each element harmonizing flavors in ways molecular gastronomy could only dream of. Bakeries craft loaves risen by Altaria Cloud's downy warmth, yielding airy croissants that shatter into buttery bliss. This culinary renaissance doesn't stop at taste, it fosters communities. Food trucks trail Pokémon herds, offering on-the-go feasts that spark impromptu gatherings, turning strangers into friends over shared plates of evolutionary elixirs. Yet amid these transformations, a new breed of icons rises to command the spotlight. Celebrity trainers who eclipse Hollywood stars in influence. Picture Lance, the Dragon Master, not just a champion but a global fashion mogul. His sleek Gyarados-scale leather jackets sell out in minutes, redefining high couture with armored elegance that whispers power. Fans mimic his windswept hair, achieved through Dragonite Gust training sessions offered at luxury spas. Then there's Misty, the Cerulean Siren, whose swimwear lines incorporate Starmie Gem, embeds that glow under UV lights, turning beaches into catwalk runways. Her influence ripples into film. She stars in blockbusters like Aqua Surge, where she surfs tidal waves summoned by her Milotic, blending action with environmental pleas that top box offices worldwide. You can't scroll social feeds without encountering gym leader influencers. Brock's rock-solid protein shakes go viral, endorsed by Onyx for that unbreakable physique, while his cooking shows teach viewers to grill with Geodude embers for smoky perfection. These trainers shape trends effortlessly. Cynthia from Sinnoh pens bestsellers on archaeology, laced with Spiritomb lore, her Garchomp gracing covers that outsell thrillers. Even villains turned reformed like Giovanni pivot to eco-fashion empires, his Persian fur alternatives made from synthetic Mewtwo, silk dominating ethical wardrobes. Their battles stream to billions, but their lives? That's the real drama. Paparazzi chase rivalries turned romances, like the rumoured fling between Stephenstone and Winona, whose Steelix Wingle aerial dates make tabloid gold. Kids idolize them, trading cards now featuring holographic trainer portraits alongside Pokémon. These celebrities don't just entertain, they redefine aspiration. You grow up wanting their mega evolutions in life, unstoppable, bonded, legendary. What surprises most is how these shifts heal old divides. Rival nations host joint festivals, like the Rayquaza Summit, where East and West unite in skyward kite battles, mimicking the dragon's soar. Art collectives collaborate across borders, fusing Aboriginal Dreamtime with Unown rune scripts into mind-bending installations. Music festivals feature K-pop idols jamming with reggaeton artists, all amplified by Meloetta's songstress aura. Cuisine pop-ups swap recipes, birthing fusion hits like sushi burritos laced with aspia berry zests. And celebrity trainers, they mediate peace through exhibition matches, their Pokémon bridging what words cannot. These cultural metamorphoses prove Pokémon's true power, not in Pokeballs, but in reshaping our shared identity. You've journeyed through alliances forged in crisis, secrets unearthed from ruins, and dilemmas testing our mettle. Now, as traditions bloom anew, you wonder what lies beyond these vibrant changes. That question pulls us toward future horizons, where the next evolutions of our world promise revelations that will leave you breathless. Stay with me as we peer into tomorrow. In 2047, the European Space Agency made headlines by signing Clefairy as the first official astronaut in human history. You heard that right. Not a human pioneer, but a pink floating fairy Pokémon, handpicked for its innate connection to the moon. As our cultural festivals wove Pokémon into the fabric of global traditions, visionaries turned their gaze upward, realizing these creatures weren't just reshaping art and cuisine on Earth. They held the key to conquering the stars. Think about it. Clefairy's biology screams lunar adaptation. Those massive eyes, perfect for navigating the moon's perpetual twilight. Their levitation ability lets them glide effortlessly in low gravity. No bulky suits required. And don't get me started on moonstones, the evolutionary catalyst that Pokémon experts now confirm originate from actual lunar meteorites. Space agencies didn't hesitate. NASA's Lunar Habitat Initiative recruited dozens of Clefairy from Hokkaido's wild populations, training them alongside engineers in Houston. By 2052, the first Clefairy-led crews were bouncing across the Sea of Tranquility, mapping regolith deposits, and even singing their eerie, melodic calls to calibrate seismic sensors. Those songs, you see, resonate at frequencies that detect microtremors better than any machine we've built. But why stop at scouting? Clefairy proved invaluable for base construction. Picture this, a Clefairy using metronome to summon a localized gravity field, stacking massive habitat modules without cranes. One viral clip from the Artemis 3 mission shows a squad of them excavating a crater, their pound attacks pulverizing rock into breathable soil substrate. Within 5 years, lunar bases expanded from cramped labs to self-sustaining outposts. Clefairy nurseries even popped up in domed craters, where baby Clefairy evolved under artificial full moons, boosting the colony's population. SpaceX followed suit, partnering with JAXA to deploy Clefairy on Mars probes. Elon Musk himself tweeted, "Clefairy isn't just cute, it's the bridge to multiplanetary life." You can feel the shift, can't you? From Pokémon as pets to partners in humanity's greatest leap. This cosmic recruitment sparked a domino effect back home. If Clefairy could tame the moon, what about Earth's unforgiving wastelands? Enter the terraforming revolution. By the 2060s, the Sahara Desert, once a symbol of barren despair, began to bloom under Pokémon guidance. Governments in Africa and the Middle East launched Project Verdant Vale, deploying herds of Pokémon specifically evolved for arid mastery. Ground types like Sandslash and Excadrill took the lead, their burrowing prowess turning dunes into underground aquifers. Here's how it unfolded. Sandslash armies, with their razor-sharp claws, sliced through petrified sand at speeds rivaling industrial drills. They carved vast networks of canals, channeling melted polar ice shipped via mega freighters. But the real magic, Hippodon. These massive hippo-like beasts swallowed entire dunes, storing sand in their cavernous bellies, then expelled it as nutrient-rich loess when commanded. Farmers watched in awe as Hippowdon herds transformed kilometers of waste into fertile plains overnight. Pair them with water types like quagsire, imported from wetlands, and you had instant irrigation systems. Quagsire's oblivious nature made them ideal. They trudged through blistering heat, using mudshot to seal cracks and rain dance to summon targeted monsoons without flooding. You won't believe the results. In Morocco's Erg Chebi, what was a sea of golden death became emerald oases by 2071. Date palms sprouted where nomads once wandered, fed by Ludicolo's rhythmic dances that aerated soil and boosted photosynthesis. Ludicolo, those joyful lily pad dancers, synchronized their movements to vibrate seeds into the ground, achieving germination rates over 95%. Egypt's Sinai Peninsula followed, with Flygon orchestrating wind currents to redistribute moisture. These dragonfly titans flapped wings that generated microclimates, cooling scorching days and trapping nocturnal dew. Villages sprang up, powered by Torkoal's geothermal vents, which the coal turtle Pokémon regulated to heat greenhouses through brutal winters. Economies exploded. Saudi Arabia exported Poke-grown figs and olives worldwide, branded with holographic Clefairy seals from their lunar allies. But it wasn't all triumph. Local trainers reported odd behaviors. Sandshrew colonies grew aggressive, hoarding water sources. Excadrill tunnels collapsed unpredictably, swallowing equipment. Whispers spread. Were we pushing these creatures too far? Scientists dismissed it at first, chalking it up to adaptation stress. Yet data piled up. Pokémon density in terraformed zones hit critical levels, ecosystems tilting toward dominance. And that's when the warnings began. By 2085, a coalition of ecologists, trainers, and even defected space program vets issued the Pokeocalypse alert. You felt the undercurrent building, haven't you? This wasn't hyperbole. They pointed to Clefairy's lunar migrations disrupting Earth's tidal patterns. Subtle at first, but enough to exacerbate superstorms. Terraforming efforts, while greening deserts, had unleashed megaflocks of Fearow and Pidgeot, stripping new forests bare in migratory frenzies. Worse, primal Pokémon from earlier awakenings, those climate titan behemoths like Regigigas stirred again, drawn to the artificial landscapes as territorial threats. Dr. Elena Vasquez, lead researcher at the Global Pokémon Ecology Institute, dropped the bombshell in her TEDx talk. We've invited gods into our sandbox. Clefairy's moon songs are harmonizing with Dialga's temporal echoes from ancient ruins, warping time pockets over lunar bases. Sand/aquifers are leaching eldritch energies from Palkia's spatial rifts. The Pokeocalypse isn't extinction, it's reconfiguration. Pokémon will inherit, and will be footnotes. Her evidence? Satellite scans showing anomalous auras, glowing veils, where human tech met Pokémon power, birthing hybrid zones where physics bent. In Australia's outback, terraformed by trap-inch colonies, entire towns phased into pocket dimensions, residents vanishing mid-harvest. Panic rippled. Governments scrambled, imposing Poke limits on space flights and terraforming quotas. Clefairy unions formed, demanding voting rights in mission planning. Trainers worldwide rallied in virtual forums, debating ethics. Was this hubris? A YouTuber named Pocket Profit went viral with simulations. Unchecked growth leads to Arceus-level intervention, resetting the board. Stock markets tanked on Poke risk indexes. Yet amid the dread, innovators pushed back. Hybrid tech emerged neural links letting humans feel Pokémon fatigue, preventing overwork. Lunar Clefairy broadcasts soothed earthly kin, their songs stabilizing auras. You can sense the tension, right? The line between savior and scourge blurring. Space programs pivoted, training Clefairy diplomats to negotiate with cosmic legendaries. Terraformers integrated legendaries like Landorus, the Desert Guardian, whose presence balanced the frenzy. But warnings persisted. Underground bunkers stocked with master balls. Doomsday preppers hoarded evolutionary stones. The Pokeocalypse loomed not as fire and brimstone, but as a tidal wave of raw power, Pokémon ascending, while humanity scrambled to keep pace. Take the Venus terraforming Accord of 2092. After Mars' successes, agencies eyed the hellscape neighbor, deploying Clefairy variants evolved via Venusian pressures. ultra-resilient forms shrugging off sulfuric acid rains. They floated through ammonia clouds, using cosmic power to shield habitats. Back on Earth, Groudon-inspired projects in the Gobi fused tectonic manipulation with Pokémon quakes, birthing mountain-fed rivers. Dugtrio trios synchronized earthquakes to fracture bedrock, releasing aquifers long dormant. But again, anomalies. Groudon proxies rampaged, mistaking human dams for rivals. Ecologists mapped the tipping point. When Pokémon biomass exceeded human output by 20%, projected by 2110, the feedback loops cascade. Clefairy's gravitational tweaks amplify Palkia's rifts, spawning wormholes. Desert bloom pollen triggers global Alolan evolutions, birthing armies of adaptable beasts. The Pokiocalypse prophecy detailed phases: integration, overreach, reckoning. We're in overreach, they say, with lunar bases pulsing like beacons calling legendaries home. Personal stories humanize the fear. Consider Marcus Hale, a sand/handler in Namibia. He lost his team to a rage bloom, where terraformed fields induced berserk states. They turned on the machines first, then us, he recounted in interviews, eyes glowing like Regirock's core. Or Li Wei, Clefairy pilot on Lunar Prime, who defected after Vision's telepathic flashes of Arceus judging our expansions. These anecdotes fuel the debate. Pro-expansionists argue, it's evolution, our ticket to galactic citizenship. Skeptics hoard berries in vaults, training anti-legendary squads, yet hope flickers. Collaborative councils form, blending shamanic lore from cultural festivals with quantum models. Clefairy mediators bridge divides, their empathy waves calming primal rages. Terraforming evolves to symbiosis, Pokémon-led designs where humans advise. The Sahara now hosts annual balance rites, festivals invoking Landorus blessings. As these horizons unfold, fraught with promise and peril, one question haunts every forecast. Can we achieve eternal harmony before the Pokiocalypse engulfs us? That's what we'll explore next in Eternal Harmony, where the ultimate balance between worlds might just save us all. Stick around, you won't want to miss how it all converges. By the dawn of the 22nd century, every continent pulsed with a rhythm no longer dictated solely by human ambition. Pokémon and people had woven their existences into a single, unbreakable tapestry, where the line between trainer and companion blurred into oblivion. This was eternal harmony, the pinnacle of our shared evolution, born from the cosmic leaps of lunar bases and desert rebirths that redefined what survival truly meant. You see, after Clefairy's gentle glow lit the moon's shadowed craters and Torterra's ancient shells turned arid wastelands into verdant paradises, humanity paused. We had tamed the stars and the sands, but in that triumph, a deeper question emerged. Could we coexist without one side overshadowing the other? The answer unfolded not in grand declarations from world leaders, but in the quiet revolutions of everyday life. Cities transformed into living ecosystems, where skyscrapers, entwined with the colossal trunks of executor groves, their fruits harvested by cooperative Swanna flocks at dawn. No longer were Pokémon captured and commanded, they became co-architects of society. Picture your morning commute in this new era. You step out to find a Luxray patiently waiting, its electric mane humming softly as it guides your path through bioluminescent streets lined with oddish lanterns. Schools taught children not just Pokédex facts, but symbiotic ethics, how a Pikachu's spark could power a home without depleting the grid, or how a Gardevoir's empathy honed young minds for conflict resolution. Governments evolved too, with councils featuring elected representatives from Pokémon herds. A majestic superior might coil around the podium in the United Earth Assembly, its vines gesturing to approve policies on migration patterns for migratory bird Pokémon. Economies thrived on mutual benefit. Farmers partnered with Go-Goat for ploughing fields that yielded twice the crop, while artisans collaborated with Smeargle to paint murals that shifted colours with the seasons, drawing tourists from across the globe. But this balance wasn't accidental. It demanded sacrifice from both sides. Humans relinquished the Pokeball's dominance, replacing it with voluntary bonds sealed by shared intent. Pokémon, in turn, adapted their primal instincts to urban sprawl, learning to navigate human bureaucracies with the same grace they once hunted in wild frontiers. Conflicts arose. Of course, territorial disputes between urban Tauros packs and suburban developers tested the fragile peace. Yet, mediation centers staffed by Lucario judges, their aura-sensing eyes piercing through deception, resolved them with fairness unmatched by any courtroom. In this world, dominance gave way to interdependence. You relied on a Charizard's flames not for battle, but to forge alloys for starships. They depended on your ingenuity to map ley lines where their energies flowed strongest. What made this vision endure was its foundation in profound personal stories, reflections from those legendary trainers who bridged the old world and the new. Take Elena Voss, descendant of the fabled Ash Ketchum. Now in her twilight years at 112, her voice a whisper carried on global broadcasts. She remembered the chaos of the awakening, when primal Pokémon like the Regis shattered mountains in rage against industrialization. I was 16, she'd say, her eyes distant, when a Tyranitar chose me, not because I caught it, but because it saw in my heart the will to heal the scars we inflicted on its kin. Elena's reflections painted harmony as a hard-won garden. She spoke of sleepless nights negotiating with legendary birds, convincing Articuno to temper global warming with icy breaths only after humans pledged reforestation on scales never before seen. Her bond with her Tyranitar evolved into a partnership that rebuilt entire coastlines eroded by rising seas, rock by unyielding rock. Then there was Rajan Patel, the blind sage of the Himalayas, who communed with the legendary dogs daily. Blinded in a youthful expedition gone wrong, Rajan found vision through Entei's inner fire. They taught me, he reflected in holographic interviews, viewed by billions, that true power lies in restraint. Raiku's lightning could raise cities, yet it chooses to illuminate paths for lost travelers instead. His stories enthralled the world tales of coaxing Suicune to purify poisoned rivers, not through commands, but through rituals of mutual respect. Rajan warned of hubris, recounting how his early arrogance nearly provoked a legendary clash that would have darkened the skies for decades. Harmony demands we listen first, he urged, for Pokémon feel the Earth's heartbeat deeper than we ever could. And who could forget Mirael Thorn, the Oceanic Oracle, a trainer whose life intertwined with the sea's guardians. At 95, she floated in a coral palace off Australia's reef, surrounded by a pod of Lapras elders. Kyogre didn't awaken to drown us, Mirael confided in her memoirs. Read aloud in bedtime lore across the planet, it rose to remind us of forgotten packs. I spent years diving into abyssal trenches, learning their songs, earning the trust to calm the tides. Her reflections revealed the emotional core of coexistence, grief transformed into gratitude. She mourned the Pokémon lost to early exploitations, those herded into factories for power generation, and shared how Lugia whispered forgiveness only after humanity dismantled those prisons. Mirael's voice, weathered by salt winds, carried a lesson for you tonight. In their eyes, we saw our own potential for good, reflected back 1,000-fold. These trainers, now revered as living legends, didn't just share anecdotes. They unveiled the philosophical bedrock of eternal harmony. Elena spoke of reciprocal evolution, where human innovation amplified Pokémon abilities and their raw power tempered our excesses. Rajan emphasized aura equilibrium, a state where collective energies balanced chaos into calm. Mirael championed symphonic seas, extending the metaphor to all life, every voice, human or Pokémon, essential to the melody. Their words, compiled in the Eternal Codex, became mandatory reading in academies, fostering a generation that viewed the world not as conqueror and conquered, but as partners in perpetuity. Yet, as these reflections echoed through the ages, a final revelation emerged, one that rewrote the very origins of our bond. It came during the grand confluence of 2150, when every legendary gathered at the rebuilt spear pillar under a perpetual aurora. Arceus itself descended, its former cascade of prismatic light, addressing the assembled trillions via psychic broadcast. You were there in spirit, as am I, in this telling witness to the truth that shattered illusions. Pokémon had chosen humanity, not the other way around. From the genesis at the world's creation, Arceus revealed, The Creator seeded Earth with Pokémon as stewards, but foresaw humanity's spark of creativity as the catalyst for transcendence. We slumbered in primal forms, the broadcast conveyed through every mind, awaiting souls bold enough to awaken our potential. You did not capture us. We permitted the charade to teach you humility. Your Pokeballs were illusions, veils we lifted when trust was earned. Evidence poured forth. Ancient cave paintings, not of hunts, but invitations. Fossil records showing Mew guiding early Homo sapiens from caves. Dialga's timelines confirming interventions that nudged evolution toward partnership. This revelation quelled the last vestiges of doubt. No longer did ethicists debate exploitation. The dynamic flipped. Pokémon had selected us as co-pilots in the universe's grand design, enduring our flaws to elevate us both. Elena wept openly, validating her life's work. Rajan bowed, his aura resonating with cosmic affirmation. Muriel sang with her Lapras, their harmony rippling oceans worldwide. In that moment, eternal harmony crystallized not as a fragile truce, but as predestined unity. Now, with the stars colonized, Earth reborn, and truths unveiled, you drift toward the ultimate realization we've chased through this saga. What does it mean for you, in this quiet night, to know Pokémon didn't just tolerate us, they chose us? The final truth awaits, the one that binds every whisper of this world into your dreams. What did you think of this journey? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If this changed your perspective or taught you something new, consider subscribing for more mind-expanding content. And if you know someone who would find this as fascinating as you did, share it with them. These are the kind of conversations that matter.